Set Monday, and we're going to begin with a little bit of story time here. Okay, so I'm going to take you all the way back to July 2013. I walked into 2nd Marine Special Operations Battalion, 2nd Marine Raider Battalion, and I'm going to tell you what was going on at that time for me. Okay, so I walk in there and I could not complete the warm up. We had a daily workout. We had workouts we would do. The teams would do it. The command would do it with our strength coach. I could not complete a warm up. I was broken. It wasn't just the workout, the warm up. I was in such a bad way at the time, and I'd always had a pretty dominant physical abilities, been really strong, high endurance level, but I couldn't even complete the warm up. And 23 months later, I held the battalion record in that same gym. Okay, same body, and tonight I'm going to tell you exactly what changed in between, because it wasn't just the training. Again, we're going to go back into the 7 forces tonight. All right, last week I ran all 7 forces, and I ran 4 of them a bit too quickly, a bit too fast. Okay, tonight we're going to fix that. Energy, environment, purpose, and faith. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to take you back to the time when I took command of 2nd Marine Special Operations Battalion, and we became 2nd Marine Raider Battalion while I was there. And I'm going to walk you through what that was like, taking the most difficult command in my life at that time, the highest pressure, most complex, everything you can imagine, right? The highest visibility, and what that's like when you are not at your best, not even close to your best, but like I said, actually starting out broken. Okay. And this isn't a lecture tonight. Every 20 minutes, I'm going to stop and we're going to do an exercise. I'm going to put the work over to you. Okay. 4 exercises we're going to do. You're going to type in the chat and I'm going to read them back to you and coach you live. Okay. So it's going to be a really cool time. Stay to the end. And by the end of tonight, you will have named the thing you cannot finish. Okay. You're going to name the room you actually need to be in. You're going to name what would be worth walking through fire for. And you will know which one of your 4 faiths is running on empty. That's right, 4 faiths. So make sure you stay to the end for that one, okay? As a recap, we talked about last week that there are 3 walls. There's the courage wall. You know how, you can, but you won't do it because, frankly, you're afraid. Fear has got you. There's the competence wall. You're not afraid. You just don't know how to do it, which happens. There's the endurance wall. You know how, and you're doing the work, but nothing is coming back yet, and you don't know if you can hang in there long enough to get the job done, to actually get there, okay? 6 of these forces push. 1 pushes back on it. Fear is the counter force, full out, okay? Fear has some benefits as well, too. Like I always say, make fear your friend and anxiety your ally. Fear is your friend, will tell you it's time to grow. But fear is on the list of these 7 forces, just as the same way that the enemy is on the map. We identify the enemy as something we need to make sure we know about. We're going to talk about identity. What's left when the thing you do and the thing you believe you are is taken? The core, your core. Who are you at your core? I've talked about several instances where I got stripped of my identity and I got peeled down to my essence, my core. And what was there. We're going to talk about that again tonight. We got some more good stories on that tonight. Okay? And fear, again, the proximity alarm. Mindset, we're going to talk about. The focus, directing the mental focus, your thoughts. And the combat mindset as well, too. Tonight, we're going to talk about the other 4 mainly. Okay? We're going to talk about energy, environment, purpose and mission, and faith. And here's why they matter more than most people think. The first 4 forces, identity, fear, mindset, okay, and energy, 1 through 4 and 1 through 3, they get you through wall number 1, through courage, okay, the wall of courage, getting over courage if you're lacking courage, the first wall. Forces 4 through 7, environment, purpose, mission, faith, are the only things that'll get you through the competence wall and the endurance wall, okay, walls 2 and 3. And that, I think, is where most of you are. All right, and we're going to see in the poll, see in the chat. If you haven't answered the chat yet, haven't answered the poll, definitely answer the poll for us so we can all learn together. Before we start, okay, make sure you answer our poll. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as well. But before we start, I want one number in the chat from you. Which wall are you behind right now? Give me a 1 for the courage wall. You're too afraid to start the thing or to do it, okay? Give me 2 for the competence wall. You don't know how, or you don't have the skills to do it. You don't know what to do. And give me a 3 if it's endurance, energy, okay? You don't have the energy, you don't have the endurance. You can't last long enough. You can't hang in there long enough. Because remember, endurance is not just physical energy, it's also your mental endurance, the ability to take the stress of uncertainty, to take the stress of fear, all those things. Just give me one number, 1, 2, or 3. 1 for courage, 2 for competence, 3 for endurance, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that, and then we're going to get started. All right, guys, it is Mindset Monday, and it is awesome to be here. We are going to do our usuals and get this thing fired up, okay? And make sure everybody is good. Everybody can hear me. All right, I'm checking right now. Okay, we're looking good. So welcome everyone. It is Mindset Mondays. If you're new here, this is when we focus on your personal growth, your development. We talk about making breakthroughs, how to direct your mental focus, how to upgrade your life. Because the purpose of this channel, the Ferocious Optimist podcast, Ben Pappas show, okay, is to upgrade your life. This is where you come to gain more confidence, more clarity, more drive, deepen your purpose, to understand how to make breakthroughs, okay? This is the day, and every day is that. On Wednesday, we have Warrior Wednesdays, where we are talking about leadership case studies from the highest level, most famous cases out there today. A lot of them are big geopolitical cases as well, too. And Friday, of course, we have the War Room Recall. We're looking for a new name for it, but right now, that will be when I'm with Nate at Valhalla, Aaron, Jake, and myself on Fridays. But let's get this party started, guys. Let's get the rock and rolling going. As usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard to Mindset Mondays. Woo! Fired up. All right, babies. Let's see.
Welcome to the Ferocious Optimist Podcast.
All right, man. Fired up out there. Let YouTube know we're here. Let the algorithm know we're here, baby.
Welcome to the Ferocious Optimist Podcast.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there is no place I'd rather be right here, right now, with all of you on Mindset Monday. Absolutely awesome to be here. No joke about that. And before I jump in and see what numbers we put in the chat, I want to go ahead and give a big round of applause for all of our members right now. Big round of applause for all our members, our bronze, our gold, our silver, our platinum. Big round of applause for yourselves. And I'm going a little bit out of order right there. I also want to give a big round of applause for all of our YouTube chatsters, the best chat in YouTube. It's not just me saying it like I say every time. If you're new here, welcome, because everyone will say it's the best chat in YouTube, the coolest place to hang out. Everyone's very, very cool. You can state your opinion. You can agree to disagree, okay? And we just have a great time. Everyone learns from each other and supports each other. It's a great, supportive, awesome environment here. So big round of applause for yourselves. Put your emoji hands together, damn it. Let's get it going. Fire it up. All right, chat. World's best chat here. And we are getting on right now as well, too. I want to give a special shout out to our gold members and our platinum members, our 2 platinum members, Buff and Freedom Cherry as well, too. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. I appreciate you, gold and platinum members. Big round of applause. All right. And as always, guys, I think it needs, we don't even need to say it, but be kind to the mods out there. They're just helping me out, running the channel and running the show. So mods, I appreciate you guys. Okay, let's get this thing going right now. And I want to jump in here inside the chat. I want to see what kind of numbers you guys are putting out. Got a couple of them here. Let's see. I've got 2s. Okay, I've got 1 for some courage. I got a 2 for skills and competence. I've got more skills and competence. I've got endurance and injuries. Okay, we've got a lot of different stuff here. I've got a 4, maybe none of the above. So a lot of what I saw up front there were definitely, it's a good mix. But I saw a few competence, a few courage, and a couple endurance and energies as well too, okay? Well, by the end of tonight, you're going to get a lot of good stories from me, okay? And we're going to discuss in this work we're going to do together what exactly you need to solve, okay, and exactly what room you need to be in by the end of the night, okay? Because sometimes, as in the poll, some of the poll questions I'm asking you, is it courage? Is it energy and endurance? Is it skills and knowing what to do? Or is it networking, people surrounding me? And right now we've got some votes in there. Vote if you haven't voted yet, okay? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let's go ahead and get into this. And of course, I'm going to tell you guys some stories from the time when I was in command of 2nd Marine Raider Battalion. Also tell you some stories as well, too, from other times, some other times when I was in combat and in leading Marines and things like that, that apply for our 4 forces we're going to cover tonight: energy, environment, purpose, mission, and faith. Okay, purpose and mission are one right there. All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. Welcome to Bronze Pew Pew. Big round of applause for Bronze right now, for Pew Pew on Bronze. Awesome, welcome Pew Pew. Love to have our new members in there, absolutely awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and let's rock and roll. So, guys, I told you I'm going to jump into, first of all, force number 1 for tonight is energy. It is the 4th force, actually, after identity, fear, and mindset. Now we're on energy, okay? It was July 2013. I arrived at 2nd Marine Raider Battalion. Back then it was called 2nd Marine Special Operations Battalion, okay? I had a strength coach there who was a badass dude. His name is Mason, okay? And I'm going to tell you, he had a great workout routine for us. That was for all the operators, the teams, for the entire battalion, okay, for at least all of the special operators, all right? And I couldn't even complete the warm-up, okay? And why? Why couldn't I? I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Because I started out broken, as I said in the thumbnail, okay? I had just come out of getting a deep vein thrombosis clot, okay? After being in Afghanistan, flying out to Afghanistan. During the flight, something happened. Then when I was on the ground there, okay, I took some damage to my leg during the flight and dented my vein. I found all this out later. Looked like they said someone took a baseball bat to my vein, to my leg, okay? And 2 months later, a few months later after this, I was coughing up blood, okay? Chunks of blood, so much so that I was down hard for the count. I was put in the ICU, put in the hospital. I was misdiagnosed, released. And then I got more problems again, and I ended up being medevac to Landstuhl. Okay, Landstuhl, Germany. SOCON came down and flew me out to Landstuhl, Germany. I stayed there about 10 days, 10 or 14 days, and I was in the hospital in Italy for about 3 weeks. So altogether about over a month, okay, of being bedridden. I was in the hospital, not working out, not eating, on painkillers, tons and tons of medicines. They figured out what was wrong with me, okay? They were trying to stop these life-threatening blood clots that happened to me. Almost killed me. I had lost so much of my endurance and my energy, my strength, muscle mass, all these things, okay? And at the end, I took a C-130 flight home from Landstuhl to North Carolina, a hospital flight, if you guys have ever heard of one of these. But it's an aircraft they convert into a hospital, okay? And so you go on there and they have an IV in you. It's basically you're on like it's like a giant airplane ambulance, okay? And they have you all hooked up to monitors and stuff. And I flew out there, flew into North Carolina, got picked up, got delivered to the hospital in an ambulance, got picked up by the buddy of mine who's an outgoing battalion commander there at 2nd Raider Battalion. And 2 days later, okay, after being bedridden for a month, most of my strength is gone. I was on a ton of different medication, okay, all kinds of stuff, because I was still in a lot of pain as well, too. My lungs had been torn up. It hurt to breathe. And I took battalion command in that condition, okay? I can remember standing up in my battalion command, change of command ceremony, tons of people there, right? I'm grabbing the flag, the whole ceremony deal, and thinking I'm going to pass out. I remember the general came up to me. He's like, all right, just go home and get some rest, take a couple days. I probably needed a couple weeks or months, right? But I took a couple days and I came back and got after it. All right. So I want you to understand, what does that actually mean when I say broken? Because people hear that word and they might think, tired, broken inside. Like I was physically very, very challenged at this time. Okay. I was injecting myself with blood thinners. I had just come off that medevac flight out of Landstuhl. There was also an 8-hour time change from being in Europe. And before that, Afghanistan 2 months earlier, I was already over that jet lag. But a month bedridden had really cost me a lot of my strength, okay? And again, no fault of my own, just as many of you have experienced out there. I know we've all experienced tragedy. Things aren't fair, hardship, you name it. When, we say life isn't fair, right? Things happen. Timing can be really terrible. It was really terrible for me, okay? Stay with me. I'm going to take you on a little journey here, and it's all going to make sense. And when I took command of that battalion, it was something that was very strange for me because I was always used to being at my physical strongest, right? And so I want you to sit with this for a minute with me and just picture a time when you've been at your absolute weakest, okay? And if you had to do the hardest thing you've ever done, and that's what was facing you, and not just by yourself, but leading people. This is what I was facing, okay? A battalion commander is supposed to be the standard, right? And I walked into that gym, and this is just a metaphor for it, right? This is a story, a little, analogy to give you guys an idea of how I was. I wasn't myself, okay? Again, identity stripped away, okay? No fault of my own. It just happened. Havoc struck. Friction struck. The perfect storm hit, okay? So when I tell you the metaphor, the story of me walking into this gym, being so weak, facing the greatest challenge in front of me, my reputation on the line, no excuses are going to be listened to, okay? They would be, maybe people would be compassionate, say, oh, okay, he was sick. But you get one shot. You get one shot in that game, and that's it. You will never get another shot at it, okay? And they gave me my shot, put me up there. And I walked into that gym in front of my own strength coach, okay? And all my Marine Raiders are in there. And I couldn't get through the damn warm-up on the first day. I was dying. I was sweating so much. And I remember Mason Baggett, fantastic strength coach, amazing guy. He's done he's been head strength coach for a lot of big college football teams, big college football player. And he was like, look, you're just going to take one step at a time, rebuild. And that's all I could do is think to rebuild one step at a time, okay? The workout beat me down so much, like mentally it was hard to make decisions, okay? It was hard to show up properly, hard to lead. But I kept telling myself, you can get through this. Take one more step. Keep going. Again, it came back to identity, like I told you guys last week. Because who am I? Okay? I'm Ben Pappas. I'm a warrior. I will never quit. Okay? I will never surrender. I will never stop. I will win. I will figure it out. I kept telling myself that, or it will kill me. Okay? And honestly, if it killed me, it would have been easier. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? But I said it's more painful to quit than to just fall apart or something else to happen. So I would not quit. Okay? This is identity in motion, guys. And I'm not telling you anything, bragging about it, making it like it's really cool. I think any other Marine would have done the same thing. It's just, this is the life I lived, the experiences I had, seen through my own two eyes, my own two ears, okay? And other people have better stories, cooler stories, more crazy, harder. But I'm telling you guys what I got and the lessons I learned from it, and I hope it serves you, okay? This is just where I was at the time, all right? So, and I want to tell you this, something else too. This wasn't the glamorous tour. Yeah, Marine Raider Battalion Command is very cool, okay? No doubt about it. I was beyond honored to serve in that capacity. Still am today. I work with some of the most amazing people. But this was a very hard mission at the time. Why was it hard? It wasn't a fully combat mission. It wasn't a fully deployed mission, okay? I was good at that stuff. I think most Marine infantry, recon, and raiders are. You're very well trained. That's all you're taught, and you know it. This was a transition tour. I was originally slotted to take this Special Operations Task Force to Afghanistan and get after it. Political change happened. They turned off my Special Operations Task Force. We were switching from one theater to another, moving to get ready for the fight against ISIS, okay? And in the meantime, it was a massive logistical shift. Anyone who's in the Marine Corps at that time, around 2013, 14, 15, will know what I'm talking about, okay? Lots of accountability, lots of logistics, lots of deep dives, inspector generals coming down, firings, crazy stuff. We were trying to reset the Corps, a big reset, right? So old Ben Pappas was getting getting the good news of the reset. And at the same time, my men, my companies, my teams were fully engaged in combat, okay? And I was going out to Afghanistan to see them. So I was being pulled in 10 different directions, all right? And I'm not making excuses. I'm not whining. I'm not doing any of this stuff, but I'm just telling you guys what I witnessed through my own two eyes, my own two ears, and the feelings as candidly as I can to you. The way I felt then as someone who hadn't experienced this before. Okay, I've been through a lot of tough stuff, been through combat, blah, 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 blah. But this was a different level of leadership. Okay. And I will tell you also, I do believe going through these very complex, hard things in leadership is what took me to where I am today, to where I can coach executives, founders, and owners of companies. Okay. This whole logistical supply chain experience, difficult leadership experiences in complex situations led me to do what I do today. Okay. So sometimes remember this as a quick lesson to the side. Your hardest things you go through in life are the ones that will actually benefit you the most later. Okay. Through pain, there will be power. And through your struggle, you will gain strength. Make no mistake about that. Okay. So I want to tell you guys all about that as well too. But again, this tour, it wasn't the glamorous tour. It wasn't taking the Special Operations Task Force. I knew how to do that. I knew how to, find, fix, and finish the enemy, right? F3EAD, find, fix, finish, exploit, analyze, disseminate, right? Disseminate the intelligence we have, okay? It was grueling, unglamorous, no glory, no recognition, tough, constant pounding, constant beatdown. My commodity sections like supply, logistics, intelligence, admin, administrative, these guys were like superheroes, okay? Working overtime, understaffed, all this stuff. The Raiders themselves were out there slugging away in Afghanistan, okay? Make no mistake, and I'll get into that too. Because at the same time, we were under constant pressure. We had men, I had men being killed in combat, men being killed in training. Very, very difficult human factors at home with the stress coming home to roost, okay? Leadership challenges like I'd experienced on a light level compared to this, okay? Constant pressure, stress, fear, frustration, political battles. This was new for me, political battles. I won't go into it, okay? But when everybody's stressed and everybody's fighting for position, everyone's fighting to get theirs and to get promoted or to do a good job, okay? And fog and friction of battle is striking everyone. Okay, and there's no crying in baseball, that old saying. You do the best you can. But there were political battles too. There were what felt like to me at the time, possibly people turning against me, okay? Or so I thought at the time. Or, let me say it better. So you feel like you want to believe, but then you realize later every single person is working their ass off to do their best. And you're going to get your feelings hurt sometimes, okay? And again, like I've told you guys before, you can choose to say life is happening to you or life is happening for you. And I chose always to say life is happening for me. Everyone's doing their very best. And if, someone makes a mistake, they make a mistake. We got to keep on driving and be strong in our own way, okay? So I don't want to make this a whining and moaning session, but I'm trying to give you guys exactly the color and the feelings and the texture of at the time, what it was like, okay? I will tell you in that time, as I said, these political battles and how I felt about infighting, things like that, possibly happening, okay? Again, it was just, I think, a very intense time that everybody was feeling now that I look back on it. That felt like there was a very real threat of being fired, but also of being embarrassed, losing your reputation, okay? And this is normal. You don't do the job, you can't get it done, they're going to find someone that can. That's normal, okay? Especially at that level in Special Operations Command, MARSOC, Force Recon, you name it, other commands as well too, other services for sure. Okay, they got someone else in the wings ready to step up. We had guys killed in combat, guys killed in training. There was a helicopter mass casualty, a helicopter crashed. We lost an entire Special Operations team. Horrible day, devastating day. Okay, I was going to dignified transfers at Dover. There were wives, kids, families that were destroyed. Okay, went through many, many funerals. All right. I think probably about 10 funerals if I have it right, okay? So, and there are other people who have done more. I'll say that right now. Like I've said before, there's always someone who's got it worse. But it was quite a bit. There was a lot of pressure. And again, going back to the fact that my strength was sapped and I wasn't my normal self. And I was playing this uphill battle physically and mentally to get up to speed and then getting hit from every different way, okay? And dealing with the fact that for once in my life, I actually felt mortal, I'll say, because I'd been through a lot and gotten unscathed. I was unscathed, untouched, and felt as though I could probably do anything, take anything, go through anything. And all of a sudden a sickness hits you, an illness hits you. I know some of you out there have been through it. I know because I've talked to you, okay? A sickness or an illness hits you and you get knocked sideways and you're staring at your own career limitations, your medical limitations, your human limitations, and you start, not feeling as bold. But in some ways, you can convert that to being wiser, okay? I wasn't there at the wiser spot, trust me. I was there in the hurting spot right now. I'm trying to give you guys immerse you in what was going on, and then we'll go from there, okay? Simultaneously, we were supporting companies and teams in Afghanistan, Bahrain, Qatar, all around the country for training, getting ready for Operation Inherent Resolve to fight ISIS, OIR, okay? Part of that whole planning and shift to go there. We were doing the site surveys and planning for that, and getting recon teams out there. I say recon, but more like site survey, infrastructure building teams, not actually in the ground tactical reconnaissance, not that. Okay, it was one of the hardest things, still to this day, possibly the hardest leadership challenge I've ever had in my life. And again, from pain you get power, through struggle you get strength. I would not be able to do what I do right now, advising owners, founders of companies, executives, senior level management in companies, if I had not gone through this complex leadership challenge that I'd gone through, okay? And I want to say that part of this thing is we talk about energy, force number 4 of the 7 forces of ferocious optimism. It drains you. All of it drains you. That is the honest truth about that year. In those 2 years, those 23 months, especially the first year. And I'm not going to dress it up. And I say the first year, the whole time, because I finished my tour at one of the most difficult professional times with losing 7 more of my operators in a helicopter crash. And earlier, a month before that, losing one of the most beloved team chiefs we had. Okay, Aaron Torian was killed in combat out in Afghanistan. Devastating to the entire command. And then the helicopter crash, we called them the Raider 7. A month later, less than a month later, devastating. The command was reeling. We were reeling. And I had to, in that moment and before that, get beyond my own feelings and get to freaking work. And we're going to talk about purpose and mission and faith and servant leadership and going no matter what. And identity tied to all of it, okay? Your identity of who you truly are, what you stand for, your purpose, your faith, your mission, who you will walk through fire with, what you will give it all for. All these things were there. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes the most heroic thing you can do is not when you're in combat, okay? Because maybe you're not there. The most heroic thing you can do is show up and keep showing up and taking the pain and taking the face shots. And keep on going and grinding it out for the others, not just for yourself, but for others. It's one of the hardest things you can ever do. And it's one of the most heroic things you can ever do, because the grind and the beat down, mental, emotional, physical, where you start not even feeling like you know who you are anymore. And I know you've been there. I know you guys have been there. I know all of you have been there. I know many of your stories, and we talk, okay? And I don't think my story is better than anybody else's story. It's just the one I got, so I'm giving it to you, and I hope it serves, okay? Let's keep on going here. And I want to tell you, here's what most people get wrong about energy. They think energy is a mood, because we're going to talk about force number 4, energy, right now. Force number 4, energy, of the 7 forces of ferocious optimism. Energy is not a mood. Energy is capacity. And capacity is finite. And that year, I was pulling from an energy account I had already emptied into a hospital bed in Italy and in Landstuhl, Germany. I was smoked and drained. Like I said, I couldn't even do the damn warm-up. That's how I started, how much broken I started, okay? And what kept my tank off of 0? My identity kept the tank off of 0, okay? Again, like I told you guys, I am Ben Pappas. I will never quit. I am a warrior. And I will figure it out. And I will come back and I will win. I will never quit. I'll never surrender. The Recon Creed part of that, okay? I might fail, you might get me, but if you get me, you better kill me, because I'm going to come back bigger, better, stronger than ever, and harder than ever, okay? I'm going to come back. And I'm going to tell you what else kept me going. Guys like Gunnery Sergeant Chris Bannister, okay, lost his leg on patrol out in Helmand Province. Got his foot blown up the day before, popped his boot open, blew his toe up. Didn't care, kept going. He's already got 1 Purple Heart. Next day, says I'm taking point again. This time they hit him hard, blew his leg off. Big firefight for his team. They were able to extract and get out of there. Chris Bannister, Gunny Chris Bannister, posted this defiant photo of himself at Landstuhl, Germany, same place I was at. Okay, he was there a little bit later after I was, after getting, I think maybe around the same time actually, doing a pull-up on the bars around his hospital bed with his leg blown off, staring at the camera with a ferocity in his eyes that says, I am a warrior and I will not quit. That inspired me all the time. So Gunny Chris Bannister, you still inspire me to this day, brother. I remember all the training you did. He fought to go back to combat. He fought to get back into a team. And don't you know, he did it. Was on raids, missing his leg with a prosthetic. Talk about badass. Talk about environment. We're going to talk about environment. Talk about the people you surround yourself with, your tribe, the minimal accepted level. Could I cry about me being sick? About all this stuff? No. I have to go to my utmost, my absolute utmost, everything I have. All it takes is all you got. And we talked about this all the time. All it takes is all you got. That's recon. That's Raider. Okay? Force recon, Marine recon, Battalion recon, Force recon, Raider. All it takes is all you got. And frankly, that's Marines as well. All it takes is all you got. And I knew I had more left in the tank. And with examples of people like that around me, my guys coming home, wounded, shot, insider attacks, crazy stuff. I won't go into all the stories now. How could I not perform to my absolute best and keep stepping up for all of them? Okay? Your environment matters. The room you're in matters. Who you surround yourself with matters. Gunny Chris Bannister fought his way back into the fight to prove he could deploy again. He did. He went on raids. I'd love to have him on here sometime. Okay? I watched him do this. You know, and seeing guys coming home wounded, guys coming home killed, the families suffering. This was a tough time. At the time, 2nd Marine Raider Battalion was the most, I believe, the most wounded, the most KIAs, I believe in MARSOC, but I believe also in the Marine Corps at the time, because it was a time when Big Marine Corps was not as engaged. I could be wrong on the Big Marine Corps numbers, though, because those infantry battalions are doing hella work out there. But I know for MARSOC they were, for sure, okay? No matter what, they were getting into a lot of action, a lot of fights, a lot of wounded, a lot of killed, okay? You guys can fact check me on this stuff, okay? But how could I do anything but step up and give my absolute all and give my utmost? There's no excuse, no excuses, right? No excuse available to me at that time about being weak or sick or the pain I was in. That's what it actually was. It was not the glamorous mission I wanted, being the Special Operations Task Force commander, going there, find, fix, finish, exploit, analyze, disseminate, you know, being the warrior king out there, okay? So it was a different animal. It was something I'd never done this complex before. And it caused me to grow as a leader beyond anything. Okay? Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, there's an old prayer, right? You ask God for strength, and what does he give you? You know what he gives. You can put it in the chat. All right? You ask God for strength, he's gonna give you problems. Boy, oh boy, I had quite a few problems, quite a few difficulties. Okay? This to me was true servant leadership. All right? And I'm not saying I was the greatest servant leader, but I was saying that's what it called for. And I needed to give myself to the mission. Total and utter commitment, total and utter immersion into whatever it took, whatever it takes. That was the model for 1-4, the 1st Battalion I went to combat with. Okay, 1-4 and the 11th MU. And this was all it takes is all you got. Total immersion. Servant leadership, I want to tell you, is painful. It's not glamorous. It's stressful. Okay, this isn't the place where you get the ton of passion, you know, passion flowing like crazy. Nobody claps for you, all right? I showed up and I endured and I stayed strong the best I could every day for my men and for the mission, okay? Because that's the leader they deserved in the moment. There's sometimes you got to flip it around and say, who is the leader I wish I had for me? Who is the leader I wish I had for me? Not the leader I felt like being, okay? Not what I wished was happening, Not the glory I wished I was getting, but the one they deserved, no matter what the problems were I was facing. And I totally believe still God had a plan for me, and there was a plan that through struggle I would gain strength, and through pain I would have power. It would make me stronger than ever, more knowledgeable than ever, and more ability, more agency, all those things, okay? And I will tell you, at the very end of my tour, after the last funeral, after the last professional battle, after the helicopter crash that happened on March 10th, okay, in 2015, and after the last funeral was done, after the last Inspector General inspection, because we had a crazy amount of errors in our installed supply base, it was pin the tail on the donkey, and I inherited it, the problem, and I had to fix it. Okay, it was on me. Other commands at the time, they were engaged for other things. Policy change happened. My main job was to fix that and get ready for the next movement into OIR, okay, Operation Inherent Resolve in Iraq, okay, and support all my guys still engaged in combat in Afghanistan, okay. And I was flying out to Afghanistan, seeing them. I was going on some missions with them every now and then, okay, things like that. So there was a lot of action flying around, going back and forth, going into Afghanistan, going to Qatar, coming back in and back in, back out, okay. Over that course of that time there, I think I spent probably 60 days in Afghanistan, probably several months abroad supporting, probably a few more months abroad traveling, and then a lot of time, obviously, in CONUS working the hard problems at home too for leadership, okay. So at the end of all this, lost 10 Marines, 10 Raiders, massive professional challenge at home with our logistics and supply chain, fixed it, okay, by the very end, skin of my teeth, okay. I walked in, told my strength coach, let's do it. Let's set up this event, let's go, okay. The challenge, it was 4 events back to back to back. He called it the cardio challenge, okay. And it was essentially a VO2 max test. Now remember, 23 months before this, I was broken. I could not complete the warm-up. All these professional challenges beating me down, lack of sleep. There were nights, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I cried myself to sleep, okay? There were nights I hid myself, sobbing in my closet, okay? Not fun, not cool, you don't wanna hear that, but it happens. I felt like there were things that were out of my control that hurt me so much to see. I couldn't save my guys that were killed. I couldn't stop the pain and suffering of others. Things were happening beyond my control, or I didn't have the proper skill set to fix it, okay? No matter what, it was beyond me. It was a wall of competence and know-how. It was a wall of endurance. It was a wall, some things out of your control completely, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, throughout all that, I kept fighting. I kept showing up, kept saying to myself, I need to protect my energy and build it. I need the best of my ability to keep on eating right, working out, training, rebuilding, getting stronger. I can't fail them. If nothing else is working, at least I can show up and give my utmost. And to do that, I need energy, protect my energy. And to do that, I need the right environment, feed my mind the right things, okay? And that's where we're going with all this. Energy and environment. So important. You saw the environment, the people I was surrounding myself with, Chris Bannister, Marine Raiders, badasses, war heroes. I had an amazing sergeant major. I had another amazing master gunnery sergeant, okay? They were in the fight with me. They were feeling it too. All of us were. I'd see my team commanders who just lost their beloved team chief destroyed, families destroyed at funerals. It was attack from 10 sides, okay? And I knew I had to keep going. So I got out there for the cardio challenge at the very end, VO2 max test. Here's what it is, guys, okay? It's a Versa climber for several minutes, and then it was an Aerodyne bike sprint, okay, for so many meters. I can't remember the exact meters, but this was hell. I'm telling you, cough up a lung when you're done. It's really bad. It made CrossFit Fran look friendly. Okay, this was designed for special operators to push to your absolute maximum in a short amount of time. VO2 max test, basically. Then there was a weighted incline resistance run on a treadmill where they put a belt on you, it's incline, and it's resisting, pulling you back, and you're running hard for like 1,000 meters, okay? And the very last thing was a 2,000 meter row, okay? My strength coach, Mason, if you're listening, you know this is true. You held the record, brother, and you're a badass. Now, Mason squatted like 700 pounds, is a freak of nature athlete, was like an all-state wrestler, all-state football player, played for Virginia Tech, like a freak. Mason could tie me up in a pretzel and throw me and bounce me like a basketball, okay? But on this day, and I know Mason's proud because he's the one that got me there. I was his product, okay? He made me in this time. I sold out everything I had. Just, as a Marine Corps, we always say one body, one mind, any weapon, for McMAP, our Marine Corps martial arts program. I sold out everything I had. I let every pain, every fear, every emotion, I'm getting emotional right now thinking about it, everything I had out of my body in that moment. It represented everything and everyone we had lost. I did it for everyone and everything that year, every family member, everyone, to find out exactly what I was made of in that moment. Did I make a full comeback? And I'm going to tell you what, man. I sold out. I beat his record, his all-time record by 8 seconds. And even just a few years ago, okay, like 5 or 8 years later, I had heard from people my record still stood. I don't know if it does today. I have no clue, okay? But just even a couple years ago, someone told me your name's still top of the board. You still had it hold. Okay? So you're still holding the record, all right? And any Raiders out there can write it and tell me, no, not anymore, we beat you, which is totally fine. I hope so, okay? But I know it was held for a while. It stood for a while. And I was so proud of that because I knew in that moment I was back. I overcame these monsters that had attacked me, that had hit me out of my control, the challenges I faced, okay? I made it through. I corrected the errors in that supply chain and the logistics. I did my justice and my best, and I honored and supported the families of the fallen the best I could, did everything I could for them, okay? I led my men the best they could through their most turbulent times. Did everything I could for them throughout that, the very best I could, right? I saw my brother, battalion commander, fellow battalion commander, who was on the ground when we lost Aaron Torian. He was more destroyed. Being there for him as well, too. There are times that it's not about you. There are times you're not in the hero mode. There are times you're the wise guide. You're the supporting effort. And I'm going to tell you, it's just like you've heard before, there are no small roles, only small actors. Okay? There are no small roles, only small actors. And I chose not to be a small actor, but to play my supporting role with full go. Even though I was a battalion commander, right? I'm the commander of the whole unit. It was bigger than me, much bigger. And it was true servant leadership. I just had to give. I had to give. Okay? And remember, I arrived at the battalion not able to finish the warm-up, okay? And I left holding the record. Same person, okay? What drove it was the identity, my purpose, my mission, my will to build my energy, protect it, preserve it, to use my environment, not let my environment beat me and get intimidated and say I'm not good enough. Let people, like I said, Gunnery Sergeant Chris Bannister and his ferocity and heroism lift me up. I've been around some real heroes, everyone, real heroes, and it's humbling, okay? But when you let them infuse you and lift your spirit, you take a part with you. And you become bigger, better, stronger. Your mind changes. You realize I can do more than I think I can because he could or she could. Okay, and that's what it's all about. That's what Ferocious Optimism is all about. This is what it's all about. Upgrading, uplifting your life, realizing you are stronger than you can ever imagine. You're better than you can ever imagine. You can do more than you can ever imagine. This is the combat mindset too. You can go harder than you've ever gone before. Go further than you've ever gone before. Give more than you've ever given before. And if you're entering into something hard, expect to feel pain and discomfort and sacrifice. And when you know that it might be the hardest thing you ever do, you're going to get through it and be like, I did it. What else can I do? And maybe it was really bad. You're not going to say it wasn't so bad, but you're going to say, I took it. I could do it. I could do even more. I know I could do even more now. Okay? So here's the mechanism. And this is the part that nobody teaches, okay? When your energy runs out, strength is not what goes first. Judgment goes first, okay? Then your patience, then your temper. So you make bad decisions. And these bad decisions won't just hurt other people, they're gonna hurt you too, okay? Then your ability to hold your tongue and to follow the rules of engagement, as I talked about in the sniper mission I was on, right? To follow the rules of engagement. To hold your tongue maybe at work in a meeting. when every instinct in your body is screaming at you to do something loud and dangerous and hard, okay? If your energy is down, your energy goes, your judgment's going to go out the window. Your patience, your temperament, the most important character traits you have, okay? So if you're stuck, remember, a depleted person makes fast, cheap, ugly decisions and then tells themselves that it was the situation. It was the only way, the only thing I could do, okay? So if you're stuck and you're also sleeping 5 hours a night, 4 hours a night, you're eating garbage, you're drinking to take the edge off, you're training 0 times a week, you don't have a discipline problem, okay? You have a capacity problem, an energy problem, and you've been calling it a character flaw for years. You got to stop it. You got to stop it now. This is where we change everything right now, okay? Stay with me. It is not the same diagnosis as a character flaw, and it's not the same fix, okay? All right, everybody, let's jump into a little exercise here, okay? So we're going to participate. You're going to jump in, little exercise. Every single one of you has had a July 2013. You've all had it. A place where you cannot finish the warm-up, right? Not the workout, the warm-up, okay? The workout. I was flopping around barely to do it. I was broken, man. And then I had pain, hip pain. Like I started getting like pains in my body I never had before. And one of my guys told me, and then Mason told me, and my physical trainer. We had physical trainers on site, okay? Whole PT section, physical therapy. It was like a sports team at the Raider Battalion. It's like a professional sports team, okay? Because our guys are like professional athletes. The Raiders are like professional athletes. And so they said you've lost the muscle mass around your hips, your glutes, your hamstrings, and so in your back, even after a month of atrophy, okay? I learned later that strength residuals have 18 days. After 18 days, you really start atrophy, okay? And so I was well beyond that. I was a month in the hospital. They told me I couldn't work out for 2 months. So after 60 days, I was like a walking skeleton, okay? That's neither here nor there. But we all have a July 2013, a place where you cannot finish the warm-up, all right? And this is not the workout, just the warm-up. The entry-level thing, the entry-level version of whatever it is that you are trying to do or you want, okay? And everybody has an 8-second moment as well, too. The moment that is specific, measurable, an undeniable piece of proof that you made a comeback. You've all got it. I know one of you out there specifically for sure had something very similar to this, probably even worse, that overcame it and is a champion, okay? Lisa. Oh, I'm just saying, cat's out of the bag. Mine was 8 seconds off my coach's record, all right? Yours is a number 2. I know others of you have it too, okay? You just have never named it, all right? So here we go, round 1. Ready? Energy right now. I want you to tell me, what is your energy right now? 1 to 10. Just give me the number. We're going to take a minute here, okay? We're going to put on a little bit of music. Your energy right now, 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Just the number, nothing else. Go, okay? And I'm going to take a look and see where we're at with our energy levels. Level of 1 to 10. Guys, if you're new here, like, subscribe, and share. But please participate. We do this almost every Monday. This is Mindset Monday. Well, some people call it Motivation Monday. I think Lady Ann does. All right. But it is all about your personal growth. It's all about upgrading your life. This is the purpose of the channel. My personal mission is to be an inspirational leader to create positive, lasting change in people's lives. And I do it through this, okay? Through my coaching practice, and my podcast, my YouTube channel. All right. So welcome aboard. Great to have you here. Right now, vote on your energy. Numbers 1 through 10. Let's see where we're at. Let's see what we're getting out there from everyone in the chat. Okay. Nice. I got a 7 from Jonathan. Got Green Bud's got 6. Keith's got a 7. Bread's got a 3. Okay. TM's got an 8. Nice. Buff's got an 8. All right, Buff. Septis got 7. Ruby's got 7. Good. Okay. I's got an 8. Nice. Coming off fast. Yeah, the fast helps, doesn't it? All right. Uh-oh. We got Golden Cat's got a 2. We're going to pump that up. Lisa Jones, 10. See? I knew it. Golden Cat, we got to get you up. We got to get you up. Okay, stay with me. You're going to get up. Oh, instructor at School of Infantry. Man, That's some hard work right there, man. You're a humping fool. You're a hiking fool, instructor at the School of Infantry. Talk about knowing your soldierly skills, your Marine Corps basic skills and infantry skills. Instructor at the School of Infantry. That's hardcore. Lady Ann, 10. I love it. Been down for weeks. Okay, 10 good. 10's good though tonight. Mark's got a 7. That's good, Mark. All right. Let's see. Okay, guys. Good. Okay, good. Appreciate you participating. 9 plus. We got Jonathan. Jonathan Mitchell. 9 to 100. Oh, 9 to the 100th power, it looks like almost. All right. Good. And make sure you're voting in our poll as well, too, okay? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Great to have you guys here. All right. Welcome to the best chat in YouTube. And let's move on to our next question. Round number 2. Name your warm-up. Remember, I could not complete the warm-up. You know, that was a hard thing for me when I first showed up at the battalion because I was broken, right? I started out broken. Give me one line in the chat. What is the thing you currently cannot finish the warm-up for? Not the dream, the entry level of it, okay? Not the entire thing, but what is the entry level first step you can't do right now? Okay, what is your warm-up? Like my warm-up I couldn't finish because I was so broken down physically. What is yours? What was the entry level for you right now? What is your warm-up? The thing you cannot currently finish the warm-up for, okay? The warm-up, the entry level thing for, okay? Let's take a look. I'm going to jump in here in the chat and see. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Oh, no, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, Keith. I got you, man. I got you. But they are, though, right? SOI instructors are hiking fools, some tough dudes, hard feet, strong back. Let's see here. Too much going on. Okay, Tony, I got you. Focus on one thing, right? Pick one. Pick one thing. And remember, like I always say, I talk to my inner circle members, my Ferocious Optimist coaching members, my one-on-one coaching members. When we make an improvement in one area of our lives, and this is for everybody, when we make an improvement in one area of our lives, it spreads to everything else. It's like ripple effect. You throw a rock in a still pond, and the ripple effect. That's what happens when you improve one area of your life. Okay, so do that. All right, hold a job. Okay, Brad, that's all right. You're gonna be able to do it. And sometimes the ability to hold that job is going to come from several things, like your energy, your purpose, your mission, your identity, okay? You know, who you believe you are, your association to fear. How are you treating fear? What's your mindset? What are you focusing on? All these things, okay? You can do it, man. You can do it for sure. I appreciate you contributing that, though. Let's see, who else? Jonathan Davis says, balancing a newborn with regularly getting to the gym, work, and all the things, getting it done. But yeah, got you, man. Got you. Hey, you know what? Keep doing your best you can. Let my story I told you motivate you, okay? I've been there. I got 2 sons. I understand, okay? So do your best. The priority is, you know, obviously your kid and your health, okay? You got to take care of yourself and work. Do your absolute best each and every day. Be kind to yourself. Hydrate, sleep as much as you can, okay? And remember, have a different idea about what is a workout. You don't need to do that much. Just stimulate, push-ups, sit-ups, squats. You know, you can go for a jog or go for a fast walk until the newborn reaches a place where you have a little more time, okay? Let's see. Lady Ann, probably getting surgery, hanging in. Okay. Hang in there, Lady Ann. I have to be patient with a lot of things, even though I have the momentum. Okay. Be patient. Remember, you can get through this. You'll get through it. You'll be stronger on the other end. Buff, effectively communicating to higher-ups what's causing company-wide efficiency. Got you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, there are many things to talk about there with effectively communicating to the higher-ups, you know, understanding, matching what their mission is and their intent, being diplomatic, having tact, the way you approach it. I recommend definitely, you know, if you can, the sidebars, closed-door sessions, requesting offline discussions so that sometimes the big egos, you know, Buff, the big egos, they get defensive when you have a solution to something, right? You want to make it look like it's their idea, all those things like that, honestly. So, because if you pop off at the meeting and you're, you know, speaking truth to power, they might launch you out of the stadium, okay? So it all depends on what your corporate culture, your company culture is too. If they like having open, candid discussions, if they don't, then you have to exercise caution and make sure you're getting those one-on-ones or presenting it properly. But you and I can talk offline about that too if you want. Inefficiency, yeah. All right, guys, let's go to this next one here, okay? Oh, and I'm sorry, Keith. Watching your beloved Beagle go downhill. Beloved beagle go downhill. Man, doggies, that's always hard. Dogs are so amazing. Amazing animals. Sorry to hear that. All right, guys, round 3. Name your 8 seconds. Let's say, name your 8 seconds. Now, this is the harder one, okay? I know it's harder. What is your 8 seconds? What is the specific, measurable, undeniable proof that you would accept from yourself, okay? That either A, you've already done it, or B, the thing you know you need to show that you are back, okay? Put that in the chat right now. It could be a number. It could be a date. Something that you would not argue with to show that you're completely back, that you've beaten this thing, okay? Put that in the chat right now. Let's see. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. Yeah, pets are family, Mark. I agree with you. That's a hard one. Let's see, guys. Put that in there. What is your version of the 8 seconds? That thing that will show you are completely back, okay? What is the specific, measurable, undeniable proof that you would accept from yourself? A number, a date, something you would not argue with, okay? Most people will post something vague. I want to see who posts something specific, okay? Let's see. Let's see what we got. All right. UFC or bust? All right, man. All right, Jonathan Mitchell. Nice. Nice. Okay, that's very specific. Good for you. Getting back on stage. All right, Lisa. I love it. These are very specific. You guys are brave. Courage. A lot of courage. Having a good bit of cash in the bank. All right, Tony. You can do it. You can do it. Remember, money does not care where it flows. It does not care. It will go. If you can find a way to add that market and that value in the marketplace, it will come to you. Okay? Getting a home. All right, Matt Byrne. You can do it. Let's go, Matt Byrne. All right. Good, good, good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the specificity and you guys sharing that. That is super, super helpful. Let's see here. We're going to keep on rolling here. We get to the next question. Okay, let's get over here to the next question. Okay, then the honest question, and this is yours, okay, for all of you. Are you being attacked from 10 sides right now? You need to think about this. Because I was, right? Everything I'm showing you. Funerals, firings, 4,000 supply chain errors, crazy stuff, okay? Traveling. I had the blood clot, the sickness. My physical power, strength was down. I was pretty damn injured, okay? Like it hurt to breathe. I had like all this damage in my lungs. It's not fun, okay? And I'm not saying that to impress you guys, but I'm saying it because you want to really look at your situation and ask yourself, am I under attack from 10 sides? Just like when I saw Gunny Chris Bannister. You guys are going to remember that name. You're going to remember Gunnery Sergeant Chris Bannister. You're going to remember, I can name so many other heroes, okay? Are we going through what they're going through, right? And you all know somebody that's your Gunnery Sergeant Chris Bannister, right? The person who's just inspiring to you, that's gone through this hellish thing, you know, right? And they still rose up and fought through it, okay? To overcome the odds, to defy the odds and to win, okay? Are you under attack from one thing, 2 things, 1.5, or is it 10? Really, because sometimes our minds want to protect us and say, this is too much, just hide. Don't do it. Don't go through that pain and suffering. Do the work, okay? Because if you're under attack from 1 or 2 and you're treating it like 10, it's going to hurt you, okay? It's definitely going to hurt you. All right? All right, guys. Yeah. I want to get him on here. I got to track him down. I mean, he's a super great guy too, by the way, okay? All right, let's keep on rolling here, guys. We're going to pump on a little music. We're going to get a little gear shift and fire this thing up. Let's go. Put the emoji hands together. Loosen up. Shake it out for a second. You guys are doing a lot of hard work. Good job. Get our energy up. This is what we do here if you're new here. Play a little music. Get fired back up. Drink some of your favorite beverage. Let's go. Let's keep the energy high. And let's rock and roll. Here we go. All right. Get the emoji hands together and pump it up. We are 5 seconds out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And we're back. Here we go. So, I've got something to say to everybody. And we're talking about environment right now. Okay? If you are the best one in your room, you're in the wrong room. And you already knew that. Which is exactly why it stings. okay? Come back to wall number 2 with me. Come back, okay? You're not afraid, you're willing. You just don't know how. This is the competence wall. Wall number 2. Wall number 1 is courage. Wall number 2 is competence, right? Wall number 3 is endurance. There's no amount of courage that's going to fix a competence problem, okay? You cannot be brave enough to know something. All right, you can be brave enough to start, you can be brave enough to go to the class, but then you got to put in the work and have the energy and the environment, okay? You cannot mindset your way into a skill you've never performed. This is you stepping up to get the experience, okay? And environment is such a big part of this because the only thing that works on ignorance is proximity, okay? Proximity. You go and get physically and professionally, socially close to the people who already have the skill you want and the ability you want, okay? Sometimes getting close to them is getting on a podcast. Sometimes getting close to them is reading a book. Sometimes getting close to them is taking a college course. Sometimes getting close to them, the proximity, is taking a professional course where they will officially check you off and certify you, okay? And then you let them grade you because you're close to the people who have the skill already. That's what every step of my career actually was, okay? It wasn't just all bravery, all courage. A lot of it was enrollment and environment, who I was surrounded with, okay? It's one of the great secrets of the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps mentality and mindset comes from the environment, the group, the tribe, the pack, the wolf pack, the corps, the esprit de corps. Everybody, they have this culture, right? Like we'd say, my motto is Semper Fi. My motto is do or die. All this stuff like that, right? They're always singing these songs and chanting these things and telling these stories. Next thing you know what you're supposed to do. You know, because the stories and the songs and the legends and lore, right? All this stuff. And the Gunnery Sergeant Chris Bannisters, okay, of the world, right? And, Dakota Myers, Medal of Honor winner of the world, right? These guys setting the standard, doing incredible stuff, okay? Or like my General Smith, the CEO, commanding officer of Force Recon, and also 1st Marine Expeditionary Force many years later, okay? You knew what to do because you had legendary people like this setting the tone too, okay? So let's talk about the ladder here, okay? The point for me was an escalation ladder in my life, all right? The point is that for me, I had a ladder, an escalation ladder of environments. Stick with me on this, I'm gonna explain it, okay? It was a deliberate escalation ladder. The first escalation choice I made was going from high school to choosing to play college football at the U.S. Naval Academy, okay? I had options to go to other places and play other places. I saw the hardest thing with the toughest people. It was at the time Desert Storm when I visited the academy. They flew me out there to do an official visit. And I saw these people that are excited to go to join the Marine Corps, join the Navy, to go to combat, to become Marines and SEALs. I was taken around by legendary midshipmen, 2 of them, linebacker Chris Beck, and then I got to hang out with Alton Grizzard, the QB of the Naval Academy. Alton Grizzard was a Navy SEAL, star quarterback for the Naval Academy, and he was a larger-than-life figure. And I remember when he was killed, I cried. I cried so hard. It was my sophomore year, and I remember some of the older guys knew that he was like a mentor for me and one of the reasons I went to the Naval Academy. And I can remember when they announced it, I think we were going to play San Diego State at the time. And some of the older guys, give me hugs because it was like an older brother. It was devastating. Just a guy I never thought would ever be killed. Alton Grizzard, man. And there's so many other guys like that. But I saw these people and I said, this seems really hard. These people are like larger than life. This guy's going to be, he's a starting Division I college linebacker. He's going to go be an F-18 pilot. Like blown away. I was like, what? My family, my father, my uncle were all enlisted in the Army, right? And we had a lot of combat veterans too. I lost my great uncle, was killed at Normandy. My grandfather fought through North Africa with Patton in the Big Red One, all that stuff. And so I had my dad was in the Army, occupation forces in Japan. My uncle fought in Korea, combat veteran. So I had a lot of experience, but on the enlisted soldier side, the Army, I didn't know anything about being pilots and ship drivers and admirals and generals and any of this stuff, okay? So this was larger than life to me, the U.S. Naval Academy. I was just blown away, right? So I chose the highest demand environment as step number 1. The highest demand environment I could get myself into at that age. Now, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or you're pushing 80, right? You can choose for yourself what is your escalation ladder right now. Maybe you choose to study something a little harder. Maybe you choose to learn something, a piece of technology. You're just like, it's too late for all that. Maybe, you choose something that's a little bit of a harder environment that will also produce great results for you, yield great results, okay? So first the Naval Academy for me. Next was the Marine Corps, okay? I chose the Marine Corps. Marine Corps selected me. I wanted to get selected. It doesn't work that way. They have to come and select you. You have to try out for it. I went through all this training in the summers, blah, 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 and had to go interview for it. And they selected me to be a Marine Corps officer, okay? And then I went to the basic school and I competed to earn a slot as an infantry officer, okay? And I went to the infantry officer course. And then from there, I went out to 1st Battalion, 7th Marines. And then from 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, I got picked up for the Foreign Area Officer Program. I tried out for it. I applied for it, got selected for it. And each one of these was a challenge and something new and hard. And then I tried out for Force Recon, okay? Trying out for Force Recon was another tryout. Each step along the way, I was deliberately putting myself into a harder and harder environment, okay? The point is not to so much give you my bio, but to show that for me, environment is the competence tool. You get around people who know things you want to know, who are doing things you want to do, okay? And you have to apply for it. You got to compete for it sometimes. And it's painful sometimes. It's a pain in the ass to do the application. It's a pain in the ass to go for it. It's a pain in the ass to get rejected, okay? It's a pain in the ass to feel. It's scary to know you might get rejected. You might be told no. You might be told you're not good enough. And that's okay, because you're going to be good enough for something else. Or you try again until you are good enough, okay? We all know the story for Aaron Love, right? Aaron talked about it. His first time going to become a PJ, he failed out, okay? But what did he do? Fought, got better, got stronger, tried it again, and did it. Okay, that's pretty damn badass if you ask me, all right? And going to Force Recon, it's a very important rung here of all this, because I was going to increasingly harder things as I went, right? The infantry was already hard, make no mistake. 1st Battalion, 7th Marines was no joke. Being an infantry officer is no joke, very hard, okay? Being an infantry leader, a sergeant is hard, staff sergeant, all these things, corporal, squad leader, these are all hard, okay? I didn't leave the infantry because it was easy. I left because I felt like there was more in me and I had a calling to try Force Recon to see if I could do it, if I could make it, first of all, okay? And I was going to find the ceiling in a room where I felt like I was already winning, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you, I was doing very well in the infantry, but I felt like I wanted to see if I could do this, if I could make it, okay? And if I could compete on this level and I could serve at this level and serve with some of these legendary people I'd always heard about in Force Recon, all right? So just remember, this is very, very important, okay? And again, this is my me story has a you message. You don't sign up for Force Recon, right? You don't sign up for, a lot of these things I'm talking about. You don't sign up for the Naval Academy. You don't sign up for, getting a role in a movie. You don't sign up for lots of stuff, okay? You guys name it. I'm just telling you from my own experiences. You try out, okay? And they observe you. And they observe you. They observe you in combat. At that time, they observed me in combat. They observed me leading a platoon, a raid force, and then they decide if you're worth it or not. After the assessment and selection, the physical stuff, the mental testing, all these things like that, okay? And then I had about 8 more months of training to become a platoon commander, and then a 4 or 5 month direct action workup and right back out to combat, okay? So here's the thing about a room with a gate on it, okay? This is the escalation ladder. This is the thing about a room with a gate on it. The gate is the whole value. You have to understand this. If anybody can walk in, there's no gate, there's no door, there's no locks in the door, okay? You're going to get exactly what you get. It was easy to get in. You're going to get probably not that much out of it, all right? You got to do hard things. Any room you can walk into by paying is a room that will take you exactly as you are, okay? A room with a gate has already decided what the standard is, okay? And the standard is pretty high. And that standard does the work. It does the work on you whether you consent to it or not when you step into that room, okay? Because it's filled with people that are going to raise you up. So we're going to get to this in a minute. You got to ask yourself, and I'm giving you guys a hint already. What room do you need to be standing in order to be the person you want to be? What room do you need to be standing in, or who do you need to surround yourself with in order to level up, in order to make that breakthrough? Okay? To be who I am today, I had to continually go through harder and harder and harder things. Things I didn't know how to do, I had to learn that were scary. Okay? Scary stuff the whole time. Hard. Not easy. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you guys coming on here in the live stream tonight. I'm like, how am I going to talk about all this stuff then? I felt a little apprehension. I feel a little bit of nerves. I was like, there's so much to talk about. I want to make sure I'm doing it justice, that I'm serving them, serving you in the audience as a servant leader, giving the best I can, while at the same time doing justice to the stories and making it accurate, making it useful, and telling real authentic stories, okay? And the resistance is just closing up and not being personal with you and not really telling you stuff from me, okay? Because sometimes, I think humility is a great thing. And at the same time, though, humility can also make you say, my story doesn't matter. It does matter. All of us have a great story to tell. You all have something great to share, okay? And I'm doing my best to share what I got with you right now, okay? And at any time it's not hitting home, forgive me. I'm doing the best I can. But you guys are awesome out there. I appreciate all of you out in the chat. You guys are the best chat on YouTube, like I always say. You're amazing, okay? So here we go. Every room in your life that lets you in without asking you to do something, to try it out, to give something, to show something, okay? It's not going to be as high yield producing. It's not going to give you as much, all right? If every room in your life just lets you in, all right, without asking you to become anything, okay? That's your answer. If you're wondering if it's a good room or not. In this room, when you're in this chat, I'm asking you to do something. You're going to perform. You're going to say things. You're going to like, subscribe, and share. You're going to give me ones. You're going to give me zeros. You're going to give me fives and twos and threes. And you're going to participate. And we're going to lift each other up. And we're going to act cool. We have the best chat in YouTube, damn it. And we're going to keep doing it that way. Okay? So this isn't just a free ride coming in here. You got to participate because the rising tide lifts all boats. We're all going to get better together, damn it. Okay? My name is Gumby, damn it. Who remembers that? Put that in the chat if you remember that. Gumby, damn it. Sorry, I'm having a Ben moment. But when you try out for things, okay, or you get yourself in the right room by one way or another, okay, you get surrounded with the right people in the right room. And I will say this, that it will change you. I'm going to say that. And you will change them. But you got to get into the right room, okay? Here's the bad room. There are two failures. Low standards, okay? The bad room is this: low standards, cynicism. People who need you to stay the same size so they do not have to look at themselves, okay? I've seen this so many times. People are getting jealous. They don't like to see you rising up. People criticize. I had this the other day. This dingaling on LinkedIn starts criticizing me, saying things, okay? And I thought to myself, and I blasted him. I just said, look, man, looks like you don't want to put in the work. Looks like you're using excuses to not put in the work, okay? And so they're criticizing you for the way you do things, how you do it, your methods, whatever. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. You're not going to please everybody. You got to face yourself in the mirror. It's the biggest thing. So again, the obviously bad room is low standard, cynicism. People who want you to stay the same size because you intimidate them. They're easy to diagnose, but they're hard to leave. It's going to be pain. They're going to try and claw you and keep you in. Everybody watching already knows if this is them. You know if you're in the bad room, okay? Failure number 2, the elite room. There's some elite rooms out there that you have already outgrown, okay? This is the one nobody talks about out loud, okay? And it is where most of this audience actually lives, I think, okay? You guys have, you're not in the bad room. You're in a pretty damn good room. But you're starting to feel like, I think I'm at the top of the pretty good room here. I might need to level up. And that's okay. It's okay, all right? Say you're performing at a genuinely high level, okay? Real results, and you're still stuck. And okay? You know that there's another level in you. and you're leaving money on the table, you're leaving potential on the table, your capacity on the table, you're leaving capability on the table, okay? Check your environment and check it wider than your job. Look beyond your job and around you. What else is in your environment? And I don't mean just the people, what you watch, what you read, who you listen to, okay? All these things too. What are you putting into your mind every day? Who are you actually talking to? Remember, you become who you hang around. Who is allowed to grade you? Like I talked about, everyone grading me on my escalation ladder from all the places I went, all the things I tried out for, okay? Do you have a coach? What is the new skill that you're going to acquire this month? Do you have a mentor, a coach? And the only thing I'll say is this: mentors are great. They are great, okay? They're awesome. But mentors is not a professional relationship. Mentors show up when they want, are available there for you sometimes, not all the time. You don't want to bother them too much, okay? Because they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. A coach is different, right? Coach is up in your business, coaching you, supporting you, an accountability circle, getting you to perform. Think football coach, think hockey coach, think bodybuilding coach, right? Think performance coach, think business coach, right? Olympic athletes. They are telling you, you must make this much of a change. You need to go this much further. You need to go this way, a little slight turn, right? That will improve your performance, okay? But what skills are you acquiring this month? Not this year, this month. We got to work in the near term. 30 days creates urgency, okay? And here's the hardest one I want to say. Are you elite at work and mediocre at home? Are you? I know. I've been there too, okay? Where when you go home, they get the leftovers. Now, sometimes there's nothing you can do about that because you're whooped down at work and you're doing everything you can just to fight and win. I get it, okay? But you can also balance it by paying yourself with your health and your energy and your family, your relationships, okay? And it doesn't have to be, I don't know if you're married, you're single, if you have a romantic relationship, you know, a partner or whatever, or just good, meaningful, loving friends, right? So, I mean, even in this chat, right? In my Ferocious Optimist community, we got people that are actively communicating with each other in the inner circle, my inner circle. The link to that is inside the chat, by the way. The inner circle. Everybody loves getting in there together. This mastermind is fantastic. But if you don't have the energy for anyone you really care about, it's hard, okay? To me, this also is an environment failure. And it's this environment failure, when you're elite at work and mediocre at home and your energy is just spent on anything else, it can be that one thing that can take the whole thing down, okay? We're going to talk about the 4 inputs now, okay? Your mind, number 1. What you feed it. Content, books, programs. What is playing in your car when you're driving? People, number 2. Who you actually talk to, not who you follow, who you talk to, who you interact with, okay? Who you're listening to, who you're going on live streams with, who you're going on podcasts with, who you're, so it's your mind and the people, right? Who you're interacting with, okay? And also it could be in person. It could be on the phone, okay, at work. Your grader, I'll call it the grader, okay? Who is allowed to tell you that you're not good enough yet? And is it for a specific measurable skill, for a good skill, okay? And do they have your best interest at heart? Who is your coach / your grader? If nobody has that authority in your life, you have no feedback loop. No feedback loop is not good, okay? And you plateau and you'll call it a ceiling. Guys, I surround myself with some pretty damn high-performing people, okay? I mean, last week we had the Admiral on here, right? Week before, I've got my friend Rip, who's New York Times bestselling author, Marine officer. I'm on the War Room Recall, okay? I'm on the podcast on Friday with Nate, Jake, Aaron. These guys you got to run to keep up with. Let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you something. Badass dudes all the way around, right? You want to surround yourself with people that are better at things than you are, at some things. You're going to have things to offer them too, okay? But like I said, if you're always the best one in the room at everything, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, okay? You don't want to be in that position, all right? So there's mind, there's people, there's your grader / coach, and now there's acquisition, okay? What skills are you actively building right now? If the answer is none, you are coasting on your old competence, okay? And your old abilities. And guess what? They are degrading, okay? This is a perishable skills. These are perishable skills. It is a depreciating asset because the world is moving on with AI and with all these other things and competition. Okay? You must be upgrading. And the fact that you're here right now listening, you're a badass and you are upgrading. Okay? So pat yourself on the back for that because you are doing something about it right now. Ferocious Optimist podcast, upgrading your life, especially Mindset Mondays right here. We are doing something about it, damn it. We're rolling. Okay? All right, let's go. Exercise 2. Everybody wake up, be ready. Exercise 2. Here we go. Round 1. Really quick, 1 minute. One word. Are you the best one in your room right now? Don't lie. Okay? Are you the best one in your room right now? Give me a yes or a no. Go, right now. Are you the best one in your room right now? Give me a yes or no. Go. Let's see what we got. Are you the best one in your room right now? Give me a yes or no. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay. Let's see what we got. I'm going to play the Jeopardy music. Okay, good, Jonathan. There you go. No. Yes, Ruby. Yes. Lisa. We're going to level up. Lady Ann. Nope. Good. TM. Nope. Matt Bird. Yes. Tony. Yes. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's time for a little extra, right? Add a little extra growth in there. Okay. Keith Riggle. It's me and my wife. I'm going to say no. Ah, there you go. Wise man Keith Riggle taught us all a very valuable lesson. Green Bud says no. Mad says no. I'm the only one in my room. Okay, got you. Well, just keep comparing and getting coaching, coming into places like here, right? At our Mindset Mondays and all of our live streams. And then get around people by proximity. Get as close as you can, okay? Typically always, okay, get as close as you can to others who might be better at things than you are. It'll help you. Yes, but I'm alone in the moment. Okay, Pumpkin, no problem, Pumpkin. But again, guys, I know you are, Lisa. But again, remember the room you're in, the people that you surround yourself with. And it can be, from afar. It could be a mentor from afar, a coach from afar. It could be, you could be in a community. You could be in a coaching membership. You could have a mentor from afar. You could be reading books, watching programs, coming in podcasts. But surround yourself, even if it's not immediately touchable in your face, direct. You can bring the proximity closer by what you focus your mind on, okay? You could see something someone else is doing, and you could do it by learning and studying. I'm going to tell you, I taught myself snowboarding, okay? First, it was throwing down the mountain and getting thrown down the mountain and killing myself. After that, I watched YouTube videos. When YouTube then came around, I watched YouTube videos to really teach myself snowboarding. And I'm halfway decent snowboarder now, okay? And obviously a lot of time in the snow too. But you can learn a lot, okay? All right, got you, Mark. Okay. That's right. Awesome. I love it, Matt. Pumpkin, you're not alone. You have us. Love it. Awesome. All right, guys, next one. We're going to talk about this. Now I want you to name the room you would have to walk into to not be the best one anymore. Be specific, okay? Don't just say not a better network, but be specific. What skills would they have to have? What would they have to know? What would they have to be doing, okay? Be specific in there. Name the room you'd have to walk into to not be the best anymore. Be specific. Let's see. Let me jump back in here. All right. I love it, Mark. Thank you. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you're new here. They tell me if I keep saying that, more magic is going to happen. And magically, the like button is going to get hit. The share button is going to get touched. More subscribers are coming. Guys, come on. Prove them right, right? Prove them right. Prove them right. The powers that be. The old great social media, YouTube gods. Prove them right. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Okay. I would like Neville Goddard. Maybe. I think I've seen a little bit of his stuff. Not much, though. TNT Martial Arts. All right, TM. That was a great answer. TM, very, very specific. Nice job. Don't. I had a blonde moment. You mean the metaphorical room? Not my... Pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. Yes. Yes. That's okay. That's okay. Yes. I mean, like, who you surround yourself with, like your network. Remember I talked about earlier, your content, your mind, what you fill your mind with, who's actually you talk to, who is your coach or your grader, the one who's telling you, you're doing it well enough or you're not good enough yet at these skills and these things, okay? And then what are you working on right now? That's what we talked about, okay? So let me know. Let's see here. I went last year to martial arts tournament. It was overwhelming. Nice. Okay. Hey, Tony, that's great, man. And you know what? If you keep on going and keep working your way up, it won't be so bad, okay? Hey, thank you, Mark. Let me tell you something. I remember, it's funny you say that. When I was a kid, I went into like a wrestling tournament. I was like in seventh grade. I'd never really formally wrestled before. And I was a big seventh grader, okay? Big and heavy, which in wrestling means you're going to get the monster, right? I got a kid 2 years older than me because it was kind of an open season wrestling thing. He was like ninth grader and like ripped to shreds and a good wrestler. And I just got trounced, man. And I like to think years later, not that I was really a big wrestler, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I'd done Marine Corps stuff, done some Muay Thai and all that. I like to think I got a lot better. It wasn't so scary anymore later on. There's a first time for everything. And that was my first time. It was not fun. So if you felt overwhelmed, I've been there. Oh, yeah. Risk. Okay, another company, risk management. Okay, Lisa, that's an awesome one. Good. No problem. No problem, Pumpkin. This is great. Cedric, what's up, Cedric? No designated network besides you. That's all you need right here, baby. You're good. You're good, Cedric. Got you, man. You're good. Cedric, you're there. Getting out in the sticks. I'm never the best in nature. Okay. Yeah. Get out a little more in there. That's good. If you want to. Right now I'm skipping everything because I'm trying to get my VA stuff together. Okay. Tony, that's a great idea. There's a lot of stuff to do there, for sure. Wrestling is life. Nice, Matt. A group of experienced tacticians. Okay, EJ. See, this is good though. You know what you need to do. Yeah, that happened to you too. Yeah, I think it happens to all of us, right? When you're starting out, like I didn't realize the strength difference, and I didn't realize the speed and the abilities, blah blah. Blah. And seventh grade, you think you're strong until you meet a strong ninth grader, and it's a whole other ball game. So, I got spent in 30 seconds by a kid that held my. Yeah, it was like equivalent of this. It was like an equivalent of that. Not fun for sure. Hey, good for you though, man. You got to have those times. You got to have them, no doubt. We got to have. Remember, the better part of courage is having done a thing before. Okay, the better part of courage is having done a thing before. You want to feel brave. You want to feel like you have know-how. You want to feel courageous. Do it once. Do it twice. Do it 3 times. You get better. You get more courageous. Okay. People always ask, where does confidence come from? Confidence comes from doing hard things, getting experience, and then the evidence shows up. The evidence shows up that you can. Okay, so it's confidence comes from, doing the things, gaining the evidence, and then you feel confident. Okay, that's where it comes from. So that's it. All right, let's keep rolling. Now, let's talk about the 4 inputs. The 4 inputs: mind, people, all right? Your grader, acquisition. What you're putting in your mind, who are you talking to? Who's your grader / coach? And what are you acquiring? What new skills are you working on? Post the one that is weakest for you. Post the one that's weakest for you. Okay, I want to see. Let's see. What's the one that's weakest for you right now? Is it what you're feeding your mind right now? Is it the people you're associating with and talking to, like your network, people you meet with every week or you talk to on a daily basis? Is it you don't have a good coach or you don't have a good grader, right? Someone who's telling you, giving you good feedback and telling you when you're weak on a skill and you need to improve on things? Or is it the skills you're working on? Which one is it? All right. Let's see. Let's see. What is it? BJJ. Okay, awesome. Which one are we working on, guys? Which one are we working on? The 4 inputs. Which one is the weakest for you? Your mind, what you're feeding your mind, the content you're consuming, right? The things you surround, you're reading, you're consuming, you're listening to, you're watching. The people in your life, who you're actually talking to. Is this one the weakest for you? Your network. Or is it, your coach, your grader, as I call it, the grader, the one who's helping you develop your skills and abilities. If you even have one. Do you have one? Or are you working on skills right now? What are you trying to acquire? So is it people? Is it mind, people, your coach / grader, or the skills you're acquiring? What are you acquiring? Let's see. I think I need a coach. All right, Ruby. That's an honest assessment. Awesome. Combatives and striking is my strength. I love it. We've lit a fire here with BJJ, combatives, and striking. Striking is deadly. Definitely the grader. Got you, EJ. Okay. Coach and grader. Yeah. Some people don't want to do that. They don't want to get someone who's going to tell them how to get better at the skills they want to learn, right? So, and especially if there's a specific skill set in your arena, in your industry you need to learn, you got to get someone who's that grader, who's already has the skills and is going to tell you how to do it. And if it's more broadly just getting on track with clarity, mission, purpose, executive function strategy, then you need a coach. Okay. Let's see who else here. Sleep cycles. Okay. Got you, Tony. Okay. Sleep cycles is very important. Your energy. Okay. That's part of, what I do in my Ferocious Optimist coaching membership. Also in my inner circle. We talk about this all the time, maximizing energy. Lisa Jones, number 2. Okay. People in your network. You got to have a better network. You have to have a better accountability circle around you. Okay, buff, network, grader. Okay, got it. Both people and coach, okay, or grader. Okay, awesome. It's good to identify these things, though. Keith, I come here because everything else in news and social media makes me black-pilled, so I come here to have faith in humanity. Awesome, Keith. I love it. This is the place for it, brother. This is the place. I'm glad to hear that, man. This is the whole purpose of what I'm trying to build. And you are a part of it, my friend. Thank you. Okay, Tiam, mind, pew, people, grader. Okay. Working on skills. Okay, Lady Ann, skills, trying not to let my bad days with injuries get me so thrown off. I hear you. Finding things I can do when it happens. Okay, got you. All right, guys. Awesome. I appreciate you all contributing. And Lady Ann, just hang in there, and just be kind to yourself as you get through these things, okay? That's an important thing. Okay. All right. So here's what I want to say. The home question here. Last one. And be honest, okay? Let's be honest about this because nobody's going to really know, right? Elite at work, 1 to 10. All right? And this is actually give me 2 numbers. You're going to give me a 1 number, then a comma, and the other number, okay? 1 number, a comma, the other number. Here we go. Elite at work, 1 to 10. Elite at home, 1 to 10, okay? Post both numbers separated by the comma. Okay? Let's see. Let's see where you're at. Post your elite at home or elite at work, 1 to 10. 1 is small, 10 means you're elite. Okay, the first one's for work, the second one's for home. Again, 1 is small, 10 means you're elite. Okay, first number separated by a comma, second number. Let's see. Okay, let's go. All right. Got it. Okay. Thanks, Keith. 8 and 5. Got you. Buff, 9-7. Okay, great. Matt Byrne, 10-8. Nice. Okay. TM, 7-6. Okay. Undisguised mess. Got you. Appreciate that. 8 and 1. Green Bud, 7-3. Tony, 10 because it's a soup sandwich at work. Got you. Lisa Jones, 9-7. EJ, 9-8. Okay. All right, guys. I really appreciate your candor, okay, and I really appreciate you you sharing. Cedric, 5 and 4, okay, got you. Rubes, 9-7. Cedric, we're gonna get that one up. Don't worry, we're gonna get it up, okay. Don't you worry, Cedric. And then Keith, got you, okay. Thank you, Ruby. Ruby, 9 and 7. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your candor and for sharing that, guys. We're gonna get that up. We're gonna get these numbers up, okay. Some of you are at a very high elite level. You're performing very well. And it's normal to have the home one down. Let's be honest, okay? It's normal because we have a lot of stress. Work's providing, it's a survival strategy. Going to work, it's a vehicle to meet your needs, right? So I understand that. TM says my kids would say 6-7. Nice. That's a big win, dude. Big win. All right. Well, let's go. And then we got Mark's got 0-8. I'm not working. Good for you, Mark. Everybody aspires to that. Awesome. All right, guys. So listen, if what I just described to you, and you're stuck at a level that you've outgrown and you already know the room is also the problem, okay? The people you're surrounded with, the grader or the coach, or you don't have a coach, okay? I built 2 rooms exactly like that, okay? The Ferocious Optimist membership is the monthly group coaching membership I have. That is the room, and it has a grader in it, okay? It's me. The inner circle is the smaller room We go live in a private mastermind every Thursday. It's absolutely awesome. And the Inner Circle includes your membership. It includes the Ferocious Optimist monthly coaching membership as well too. So in essence, you're going to get, 4 coaching sessions a month, a coaching session every week, okay? So you're getting a coaching session every week instead of once a month, and you have me directly in your DMs in our private platform, okay? Our own private coaching platform. And now the coaching sessions, think about it. This is absolutely awesome. I'm giving you guys great stuff here, okay? Trust me, and you're giving it right back to me. But I want you to think about a private Zoom call where I hear you, I see you, we hang out, we're talking, we're chatting, we're interacting, okay? And you're going to talk to me in the Q&A, and we're going to work on in the Inner Circle and the mastermind about whatever it is important to you that you're working on. And I'm going to coach you, and the others in the mastermind are going to support you and offer advice and things from their own lives as well too. And this is every week. And then you and I can continue the conversation in the DMs the whole month. Okay, I have people send me documents, they send me PowerPoints, they send me things they're working on. They'll send me, Q&A on a daily basis, okay? So all of that's there. There's no application, there's no waiting list. It's ready, it's open right now, okay? And all you have to do is go ahead and get in and click the link in the chat right now. This is the Inner Circle, okay? And I'll see you on Thursday, because our next live for the Inner Circle is this Thursday. It's absolutely awesome. And we go just like at the same time here, 5 p.m. Pacific. So it's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description for this live stream too. But check it out. It's in the chat right now, but also in the description if you're watching later, okay? All right, guys, let's get on to our next one. We're going to get on to purpose and mission. We are rolling. This is going to be a big one tonight. But I appreciate you guys. It's absolutely awesome to be here with all of you. Let's crank up a little bit of music and get some emoji hands together. Let them know we're awake here. All right, get a little drink. I'm gonna get a little drink for my voice, so I'm not, so you guys don't lose me. I'm like shouting.
Let the
Top
rhythm
level.
take
Thank you,
control.
Cedric. I appreciate you, Cedric.
Ignite the fire in your soul. Pulse in motion.
Bump it up. Resident DJ, Vegas. We're doing it with personal development. 2, 1, kick it. All right, we're back in action right now. Cedric, I appreciate you, brother. Cedric is one of our Inner Circle members, and we also have a friggin' awesome time in there, okay? This last Inner Circle session last Thursday was like 2 hours long, okay? And we were sticking and jabbing and coaching and talking about strategy, and it's super interactive, and you're going to love it, okay? I love it. You're going to love it. It's a great time. And it's just cool because we have a really cool cadence where it's like every week we have a small group getting together and, making progress and making things happen. It's super cool. All right. I need the Gollum juice. I need something. I got some Booyah juice around here. I got this one in case. I got a little Ferocious Optimist energy drink. I got a little bit of water. If things really get bad, I got the Energy and Focus mints. Look out. If I pop one of those puppies, you guys don't know it. I'll be like out of my freaking mind. Those things are out of control. Very strong. Okay, let's do it. Purpose and mission. We're doing it now. Here we go. I got to make sure I'm shutting down this little video here before all my bandwidth gets taken. All right. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to take you guys back to when I talked about that sniper mission before, okay? And again, I'm not telling stories like, oh, I'm a cool guy's story. Look at how cool I am. There are lessons to this. It's just things I've lived that I thought made an impact on me, and I hope they have an impact on you in the same way, okay? That you take something away from this. But this is what I got for you, okay? This is what I've lived, and I'm not telling you everything. There's some stories that I probably won't talk about much, but others that I think are very valuable, okay? For example, we're going to talk about purpose and mission right now. And I talked about last week about this sniper mission I went on and how it started for me going on this particular mission. I've been on some other sniper missions before, okay? But this one, my chief scout came up to me and grabbed me, and we just came back from a raid. And he's like, hey, sir, okay? Big, strong, badass dude. And he was like, hey, so-and-so's got a bad feeling about this mission. I was like, what? Okay, what's going on? He said he's short. He's going home in 2 weeks. He's catching a flight home in 2 weeks. And we were just tasked with taking out this IED emplacer in a very bad area, okay? And there's a lot going on. Operation Phantom Fury was going on in Fallujah, okay? This is 2004 time frame in Iraq. And we were in a place outside of Fallujah, a place called Ansar wa Salam near Abu Ghraib famous area for the prison. Okay, bad area, lots of bad stuff happens up there. Many places in Iraq, lots of bad stuff happened, but this one was a bad one. Okay, regular mortars, rocket attacks, IED attacks, ambushes, infantry attacks, okay, as well. They were stupid enough to attack the base on foot at one point, and they all paid the price. Okay, you get what you get. But the bottom line is that a young Marine had a bad feeling about a mission, okay? And the chief scout, staff sergeant, asked me, the chief scout, meaning the chief sniper, asked me to take his place, okay? And so we're gonna talk about that a little bit, okay? I'm gonna tell you what happened on that mission. And I opened the whole series about this, all this stuff earlier about identity last time and about fear. Remember, and I had the feeling of fear, the taste in my mouth, the alkaline taste in my mouth that said my body was flooding with adrenaline because what I was receiving sensory data on in my eyes, my ears, everything I was seeing and feeling, taking it around me told me this might be it, okay? We might be killed and dragged through the streets, right? Well, if we're killed already, we wouldn't have known we're dragged through the streets. But I'm saying this is the level. There are only 4 of us. We were in a city, getting surrounded, just setting the scenes, okay? So, and the operation was to target an IED maker and emplacer, killed a lot of people. There are huge craters around the roads there, okay? Some Marines were hit in IED strikes, miraculously lived, but usually they didn't. But the back end of the Humvee got demolished. I think the IED detonated off time. It was a slow detonation. They thought it was going to hit the crew cab, but it went to the back of the Humvee and blew it up. Okay. Long story short, we went out there to do this, and he asked me, and a move could have been go find another Marine to do it, right? But he asked me. And I took the spot myself because he also knew that I was skilled, okay? That I was a skilled Marine, skilled infantryman, skilled operator, and I could do the job. And he trusted me, all right? So I knew they needed leadership on that mission. I knew it was a dangerous mission. I knew it was one of those things where, yeah, they had a quick reaction force. We had on standby. We always mitigate risk, right? But if things don't go right, it can get really bad, okay? And I said to myself, if not me, then who? There was actually no hesitation. It was just, of course, you know what I mean? And for one of your guys who want to go on a mission with you, you're honored and you're excited. You're like, yeah, let's go. Okay, let's do it. Of course, you got to be a warrior leader, all right? So that's why I was on that mission. And I want to close the loop for you guys from last week about some of that, okay? The same mission, we got compromised, the whole thing, okay? Very scary. I had the adrenaline flooding in my mouth. That's where that, taste came from, my body dumping everything it had, because it decided I was about to fight for my life, all right? And I want you to hold these two things at once, because taking that guy's spot was the reason I know what that taste is, the reason I experienced that. Now, if I would have died, would have been the same reason, because I took his spot, right? But I didn't. And so because of that, I have this very, very valuable lesson and very, very valuable experience, which served me and my men very well on my next combat deployment, okay? Because I was on a very similar mission, but to not just get one guy, but to really take care of a cell. And it served me very well, and we did very well on that, okay? And I would do this all again tomorrow, all right? So what are the reasons I did this? We're talking about purpose and mission right now. What was my purpose and my mission there? Well, first of all, to uphold my oath, the sacred oath, sacred duty that I have to my Marines and we have to each other as Marines, okay? Uphold my sacred duty to my men. Do the absolute utmost best that I'm capable of. Again, just like the servant leadership of my battalion, this was never about me. It was about my men and the mission. Guys, any other Marine Corps officer would have done the same and behaved the same. They would say the same things, okay? I'm just happen to say it now, all right? And any Marine I know, this is how we all are, okay? So I'm not telling you anything like, whoa, wow, that's so amazing. I'm giving you my story, and I'm just saying the words, right? That is what we're all of us, what we're about, okay? And I'll tell you for right now, I know that's what Nate and what Aaron are all about too, and Jake too, okay? So they would all done the same thing. You take care of your men, you learn at some point, you take care of your men and they take care of the mission. every single time. Okay. Again, we're talking about right now force number 6, purpose and mission. What is your deep driving purpose in life? What is your mission in life? What will you walk through fire for? What would you die for? Some people say if you don't know what you'll die for, you're not truly living. Okay. You can't truly live until you know what you'd give your life for. Okay. Some people will say that. All right. Something to think about right there. Something to think about. So I want to say that is not softness. Taking care of the men so they take care of the mission is not softness. That's the highest yielding thing, the highest yield thing a commander and a leader can do, okay? With your attention, where you can put your energy and your attention. Taking care of the men, they take care of the mission every time. And I'm going to tell you what, to tie it back to the battalion, we talked about earlier, my battalion command, it was not the glamorous mission I wanted. It wasn't what I was used to, not even the glamorous. And there's no real glamour or glory. Okay, I shouldn't even say that. It wasn't what I was used to. Okay, I was used to doing find, fix, finish. Okay, direct action, raids, attacks, things like that. Okay, but especially special operations, direct action missions, raids, all those things. Find, fix, finish the enemy. Exploit, analyze, disseminate, F3AD. Okay. But this mission I had then, it was painful, stressful, unglamorous, without glory, without recognition, and on a level of complexity that I'd never dealt with before, and a level of stress I'd never dealt with before. Wall number 2 for competence and know-how was through the roof, okay? The wall was so big, it was so difficult for me. But I showed up, I stayed, and I endured, and I worked on my one thing I could control, my energy. I knew I could rebuild that. That's why I was always in the gym. That's why I was always training. That's why I stayed close to Mason, our strength coach. And he's a great guy and a great leader, okay, Mason Baggett. And so worked so hard to get it all right, okay, to get my energy up, the thing I could control, because that was the leader they deserved at the moment, okay? So I want to tell you why purpose is the only engine that works, okay? So we're going to come back to the long walk from last week we talked about. The stay behind mission I talked about. Moving alone through this active firefight, right? The lull we had in the firefight to link up with my assault team. If I had been thinking about self-preservation, I never would have made that walk. In fact, I don't think we do a lot of things in life if all we're doing is thinking about ourselves and thinking about self-preservation and comfort, okay? Purpose, mission, all these things, okay? These are the things that will drive you and make you successful. Okay, guys, hold on 1 second. All right. I just had to fix something real quick. So if all you're doing is thinking of self-preservation, okay, and all you're doing is thinking of comfort, you're making comfort-based decisions, you're not leading with purpose and with mission, you will not take the necessary steps to overcome fear, okay? You will not take the necessary steps to get in the right environment, to build up your energy, okay? Because here's the thing. When you're doing things just for yourself, you give yourself a pass, all right? When you're just serving yourself, you're going to give yourself a pass. It's psychologically proven. When you do something for something greater than yourself, than just yourself, you will push harder and do more, and you won't stop because you know other people are depending on you. So you want a real driver to make you go harder, okay? And to make you do more, go further, endure, get in the right environment, get with the right people, okay? All these things. And to succeed, get a big purpose, bigger than just yourself. Serve something greater than just yourself, okay? Get a mission that is larger, that includes more than just you. It will make all the difference in the world for you, okay? The only thing on earth strong enough to override self-preservation is a purpose bigger than just your own self and your own self-preservation, okay? My men were down there in that long walk, at the end of the long walk. My men were with me on my sniper mission, okay? That was the entire calculation. That was it. And here's why this matters to you tonight, because you are not walking through a combat zone, through a firefight this week. I hope not, okay? That same engine is the only thing that overrides the smaller instincts too, like I just talked about. Serve something bigger than yourself. Comfort, convenience, being liked. Doing things just to be liked. Quitting on month 14 when you got 23 months to do. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. There were times I never felt like quitting. I never felt like I was going to quit. I felt like I might be destroyed in the process. I felt like there was a chance I could fail, no doubt. But I would never quit because it's my identity. I would never quit on the mission and on my men, on my family, on people that looked up to me. Never. And because of that, I kept giving maximum effort, and maximum effort is what saved me. Maximum drive, maximum effort, pushing through fear, through pain, through all these things is what saved me because of my identity was connected to my vision, my purpose, and my mission. Okay? If self-preservation is the strongest force in your life, and you're only thinking of serving yourself, you will always stop at the exact moment it starts to cost something. Okay? Let's talk about vision for a moment. Your purpose has to be connected to your identity. Must be. Okay? Or it's just a slogan you agreed on once upon a time. Okay? It has to have real passion and a real desire and real intention. Your deeper intentionality matters almost more than anything. What are the deeper reasons why you're doing what you do? This has fascinated me since I was a kid. Why do people do what they do? Okay? And it all has to have a vision, a purpose, a picture specific enough that you could paint it. Not a value, a picture that you can see. You can envision it and see it. In the Bible, that's my denomination, that's my religious background, Christianity, okay? Everyone is welcome here. I want to say that in this chat and in this channel, we are all welcome here, okay? We're all welcome here if we can grow together, learn together, and we can finally find a freaking way maybe to understand each other and be kind to each other, okay? And respect each other, okay? But in the Bible, and that's what I know, says that a people without vision shall perish. Okay? Where there's no vision, the people perish. That's not poetry. That's an actual mechanism. That's like how it works. Okay? The times I've been worst at my life, when I've messed things up and I haven't been good, and I've fallen off, and I've made mistakes, and I've been stupid, and I've wasted time, okay? You know, started drinking too much, or eating too much, or whatever, you name it, acting the fool, it's because the vision was not strong enough. I was not super strongly connected to my vision and my purpose, like a friggin' chain, okay? Like powerful steel links connecting me. When you lose your vision, your purpose, and your mission, you drift. You will drift with the waves. You'll drift with the currents. And it might seem fun for a little bit, but I'm going to tell you something, okay? If you have no vision, no navigation plan, and then you have no direction, then anywhere you go will do. And if you show up at some crummy shores and you wonder how the hell did I get here, it's because you never had your hand on the wheel or your hand on the rudder and steering your ship to where it needed to go. And you just drifted. Okay? Vision, purpose, mission, something serving greater than just yourself will make all the difference in the world. And this is a daily focus. You got to get up and you got to get back on the navigation plan. Look at the GPS. Look at your actual, like a ship, right? Your big navigation charts that you see in the movies, or you see if you actually were in service in the Navy, in the Marine Corps. Your actually navigation charts. Make sure you're still on course. If you drifted off course at night or during a week or something, correct course, get back on. Okay? That's how you do it. You don't find purpose once. You course correct every single day to make sure, every morning, okay, and make sure you're on track. And at nighttime, you ask yourself, how did it go today? And you image your way through what went right. And you congratulate yourself on what went right. Okay? Be deliberate. All right, guys, here we go. Exercise number 3. Here we go. Round 1. The anchor question. Give me one line in the chat. What in your life is worth walking 3 blocks under fire for? Okay? Let me say it this way. What is worth walking through fire for in your life? What is worth walking down a street that's on fire? What in your life is worth walking on a street that's on fire for? Tell me right now in the chat. I said it 3 different ways, but you guys know what I'm saying. What in your life is worth walking down a street that's completely on fire for? Okay, like, raging fire. Maybe people are shooting too. On fire and under fire. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, make up traffic. That's exactly true. Self-preservation. Yep. Let's see. And Lady Ann, I would definitely say it's hard to plan in survival mode, but that's the time you really got to plan. You really got to get nitty gritty and make a plan and look at the brutal facts, right? And have faith. Definitely have faith that you're going to make it through. Nice. I love it. Okay, good. And I'm seeing people, my wife, my daughter. Lottery tickets, those drawings get high. Family, my family, freedom. I don't have kids, right? Got you. Steak dinner. All right, man. My wife and kids, my professional reputation. Got you, Lisa. When you meet your maker, make sure it is not the first time you've been introduced. Say amen to that. My faith. Love it. Okay. And I will tell you, it's interesting, but what I see here, okay, it's very interesting. But what I see here is what I would expect in a lot of ways. I see a lot of people's names. If you look, I see a lot of people. Okay? And we're seeing people, but we're also seeing some concepts. Okay? And some of the concepts we're seeing are like faith. Okay? I say it's a concept. If faith is faith, right? It's more than just a concept. I understand that. But I'm just saying, as a word, right? You're serving something greater than just yourself. It's a powerful purpose of faith, connected to something greater than just yourself. Okay? And this is super important. All right? But we see people, a lot of people. Most people will say a person. And that's really interesting. Almost nobody set a goal. I did see a steak dinner. Okay? That's a good one. But I want you to really be honest with yourself. What actually would it be? What actually? And you don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want to, but think about that. Okay? All right, round number 2. Now, this is the harder version. Okay? And this one is actually a little bit of an assignment, not just a reflection. Somebody in your life right now is short. Like that Marine that was short and had a bad feeling. Somebody in your life right now is short. Okay? They are short timer and they have a bad feeling about things that are happening. Maybe it's a teammate that's about to break. Maybe it's a kid. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a sibling, okay, carrying something. Somebody whose spot you could take this week, someone you could reach out to, someone you could take a load off. You could help them. You could listen to them. Who is that person? Name them in the chat. First name only, okay? Name them in the chat. Just give me the first name only. We don't need to get too down in the nitty gritty or in the weeds. Name them in the chat. Okay, I want to see. Let's see. Who is that teammate that's short, that has a bad feeling about this mission right now? And maybe they're dealing with a ton of stuff. Someone you could help in some way. You could take their spot, like in my story, so to speak. Let me see. Okay? I love that. I save mankind. Okay. Give me the first name of that person in the chat. Let's just see. All right? All right. Boy, Carl. Got you, Buff. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you sharing, Buff. Okay. Valerie. Okay, Rubes. Thank you. Got it. Kim. Okay, Lisa. Got it. Let's see. Let's see. Anybody else? Put that first name in the chat of that person. Okay, Eva. Got it. Pew pew. Devin. Got you. Appreciate it, Egan. All right, guys. This is where we recognize those people we know we could serve and we could step up for and we could help. And when you have that purpose-driven life and it's bigger than just yourself, you have this service to others, this deep driving purpose. You can go outside of whatever you thought your limitations were because it's bigger than just you. Just like when I was serving in battalion command, it was bigger than just me. Okay? Let's see here. Got it. Return freedom. I'm here for some knowledge transfer. Got my dose of DJ Simply. All right, awesome. Good to have you here. What we're talking about right now is who's that person you know you could help right now. Okay. I gave a story about a mission that I was on where I had to take somebody's spot. I was on this mission sniper mission, because one of the guys was getting short and had a bad feeling about the mission. The chief sniper asked me if I would come to the team and take his spot, and I did. And I'm asking right now, is there someone in your life who has a bad feeling right now, that's going through some stuff, whose spot you can take, who you can help out, you can help carry the load for them? Okay? Got it. Goya. Yeah, okay, your neighbor's stuck in bed. Yeah. Mad. Okay, Randall, got you. Yeah, short timers calendars. You're right, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, again, yeah, short time. Maybe I explain that. It's when people are about to either A, get out of the military and they're in a combat zone. You saw that in Vietnam a lot, right? They'd finish their tour of duty and they'd get out. For the Marine Corps, they could be rotating back home a lot of the times. 2 weeks left on their tour until they take a flight home, and they're probably going to stay in the Marine Corps but go to something else. Okay. At the time in Iraq, they were really trying to make it work. They were trying to not just keep units the whole time, but rotate people in and out and all those things. Not all the time. They tried to do whole units, but there were sometimes a few people here, a few people there. They'd rotate in and out. Art, new here. What's this about? Yeah, I knew Major Stark. I didn't know a captain. I knew. He might have been Captain Stark when he showed up. I knew Major Stark. Oh no, I would have known him. I would have known him at Force Recon when he was there. He was there just getting there when I was leaving, from Force. Then we became First MSOB, First Raider Battalion. Let's see here. Everybody in the chat, maybe let's see, guys. You can fill in art. We're talking about, there's somebody in your life right now you could help, that you could help out more or less. Okay, it was in the context of someone being short time on a combat tour and about to go home, and they had a bad feeling about a mission. And so it's where someone's stepping up. In this case, it was me. I stepped up to take their spot in a 4-man sniper team. Okay, and so just like that, that is a metaphor. That is a case. Where is there someone in your life you could step up and help out? That's what we're talking about. We're just naming their first name. It's just a personal reflection right now. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah. I don't know Major Craig Holm. He was. Yeah, he was. He was, yep. Yep, I know him well. That was mean. He was a great guy. He actually was a great guy. Yeah, he was one of my company commanders later. He's actually a great guy and a good commander too. You have to hold the line, and sometimes being the nice guy doesn't work. You know that. If you're a Marine, you know that, right? You just go out on a nice guy, it doesn't work. You got to sometimes be tough. So, all right, guys. All right, let's go. Okay, so the last thing here, okay, actually second to last, calendar check. Now look at your actual calendar for this week. Does it reflect either of those answers? Okay? Do you have time on your calendar where you can help these people out, or you can do something for them, or spend time with that person that's worth walking through fire for? Or those people. In some cases, it's family. Some cases, it's team. Some cases, it's a loved one, right? And the person you can step up for and take their spot or help them out. Is there anywhere in your calendar where you can spend 15 minutes on a phone call? Something. Take a look at your calendar. Does your calendar reflect either of those two answers? Just give me a yes or a no. Does your calendar reflect either of those two answers you gave? Give me a yes or a no, okay? All right, so just check that out. Let's see right here. I want to see what you guys got. Does your calendar reflect either of those? And then once you do that, okay, the last thing I've got is this. I want you to type commit type commit in there if you're going to step up and help that person out in some way. Okay, it could be a phone call, it could be a simple gesture. Okay, and you're going to spend more time with those people and that person that is the person you would walk through fire for. Okay, walk through being under fire or walk through actual fire for. Okay, so I want you to type commit if you're gonna commit to spending more time, more attention on those people. Okay, and that person, you could take their spot. It could be a simple phone call, it could be an act of kindness, it could be checking in on them. Something doesn't have to be, you taking up an entire week or entire day. That's all up to you, and it could be that. Okay, but even a simple act of kindness, simple gesture, something to help out. Give me a commit if you're ready to do that. All right. I want to see what we got. All right, guys. We are rolling. All right, we're getting into block 4. We're going to talk about faith here. Getting in block 4. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Best chat on YouTube. Great to have you guys here. And while we are at it, let's go ahead and give yourselves a damn round of applause for the best chat in YouTube right now. Big round of applause for yourselves. You guys are awesome. Big round of applause. I appreciate you guys. All right, and let's rock and roll. I love seeing it. Return freedom, commit. You got a lot of commits. Okay. Yeah, I love that, Art. Thank you, Art. Great to have you here, man. Welcome, another veteran. Great to have you. I love seeing this, guys. You got commit. Yes, few people. Commit. Awesome. You did yesterday. Okay, awesome, Lady Ann. Committed. Commit. Super cool, guys. Awesome. I do need to reach out to my family. Yeah, Art, I think we all do. You know what I mean? I'm on the journey with you guys, okay? I'm not like the guru over here saying, like, oh, I know everything, my children. I'm on the journey. I'm teaching what I need to know, okay? This is Ben Pappas counseling and therapy for himself at the same time, okay? I'm on the journey with you guys. We're all going together. This channel is all about upgrading and uplifting our lives and, making breakthroughs, becoming better leaders, and overcoming the things that are holding us back, okay? And a positive, uplifting, supportive, badass group of people in the chat, all ferocious optimists, okay? So it's awesome to have you guys here. Let's go. We're going to fire up some music, and then we're going to get on to the next section. All right, here we go. Pump it up, get a little drink. I got my ferocious optimist mug saying courage and discipline. That's all you need. We might even go one more. We might go one more bit of music. All right, a little bit more right here.
Feel your energy
fire it up, guys.
rise.
We've been doing this for a while, so fire it up.
Feel your power rise.
Resident
Heavy
DJ, we're
focus
pushing for
now.
it in Vegas.
Feel
You
your
can purchase my
energy
next album
rise.
in the store.
Feel your power
I'm
rise.
just kidding, I don't have one.
Heavy
You guys
focus
are new
now.
here, I'm just joking. But I did make these songs, all of them, everything on here. Otherwise, I'd get copyright crushed. Pump it up. We're gonna fire it up all the way through. Here we go. I got multiple drinks. All right, here we go. It is Mindset Monday. Today's Monday Mindset. Mindset Monday. I'm live on Wednesday for Warrior Wednesdays as well too. Warrior Wednesdays where we take the largest case studies out there, usually geopolitical, like the Iran war, Russia, China, domestic issues at home, and we are doing a case study of leadership decision making and strategy, okay? As we can apply it to our own lives, to our businesses, to us as leaders. We do that on Wednesdays. Monday is all about personal growth, mindset, okay? About overcoming fear and obstacles, ferocious optimism, purpose, mission, faith, all these things to help us make a breakthrough at a personal level to boost our energy, okay? And then on Friday, as you all know, I'm on with Nate from Valhalla and Aaron from One's Ready and Jake from Jake's Wag. And we have an awesome show on Friday as well too. And sometimes Saturdays, depends on what's going on, but I might be streaming on Saturdays as well too. Stick around for that. So please like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any of the action because we got a lot going on here. It's a lot of fun. So great to have you guys here. Let's go on to the next one here. Ready to rock and roll. And we're talking about faith, okay? Here we go. There are 4 faiths, guys, okay? There are 4 faiths we're going to talk about. Number 1, and you can have your own versions. This is just mine. I'm not saying like this is the end all be all. This is my version, okay? We got a lot of smart people in the chat. You guys come up with your own stuff if you want to. Take what you like, don't take what you don't. But this is what I say, okay? Excuse me, 4 faiths. 4, not 4, 4. Number 1, faith in God, okay? Number 2, faith in your men, in your people, okay? In those who are to your left and to your right. It could be your family. It could be your team. In my case, it was my men, okay? In faith in yourself, number 3. That you will figure it out. You're going to have faith in yourself that you will figure it out, even though you cannot yet see how to do it, okay? And last, faith in the plan, that there is a plan for you, a larger plan. When I say the plan, like, he has a plan, okay? That this hardship you're going through right now is a part of the plan and on the path. It's not off of it, okay? Let's go. We're going to talk more now. Number 1, part 1. Part 1 was the 4 faiths. Part 2, faith as a discipline. We'll go back to the sniper mission. Talk about that quickly. A third angle. 4 men surrounded in a place that had eaten sniper teams before. Okay? In Zaydan, right around the corner from Ansar wa Salam. My Marines out there, if you'd spent time in Iraq, near Baghdad, Bayap, Baghdad International Airport, you know what I'm talking about. Near Fallujah, okay? You know what I'm talking about. The faith that mattered was not the faith that we would live. I want to say that, okay? You don't always know these things. It was the faith that let me stay disciplined, not overreact and not escalate, okay? And hold for the QRF, to be disciplined, to hold to the rules of engagement, okay? It was the faith that I would do what was needed to be done. I would uphold my oaths, uphold my discipline. This was part of a larger plan. Faith in God. Okay, it wasn't faith. I didn't know what the ultimate plan was. I knew the faith that all my men would fight to their utmost, would fight like lions until the last bit. Okay, to the last bullet, to the last knife broke and chipped, to everything. Okay, I knew I would have faith that I would keep thinking and trying and not just be a nutbag and lose my mind. Thinking, solving problems to get my guys out of there, okay? I knew that God had a plan. I believed in our higher command. I believed in the QRF. I believed in the commander who was in charge of the battle space, okay? So I had so many levels of faith going on. And on top of that, it wasn't that faith we're going to live. It was faith that we would be Marines and uphold our sacred oaths and our duties. And that God had a plan. Whatever God's plan was, it was perfect. And that was it. That was it. It wasn't, I know we're going to make it out. I didn't think about that. I had faith that I would do my damn duty and my job. And my guys would do their jobs. And they'd all come looking for us. And they would do their jobs. Marines leave no man behind. I knew that. And that's all I needed. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Faith is what makes restraint possible. I want to say this. That is the whole insight, okay? It took me a long time to see it. Faith is what makes restraint possible. A man with no faith in a rifle and an assault weapon escalates very quickly, okay? Because escalation and violence definitely feels like control. If you've been there, you've been there. Or you know what I'm talking about, okay? When you believe nothing is coming to save you and you don't believe in any, you don't have any faith in something larger than just yourself, okay? I'm talking on the spiritual level and on the interpersonal relations level, the esprit de corps team level, okay? You believe nothing's coming for you and there's nothing else outside of you. The only thing left to do is go loud, get violent, self-preservation, attack out of fear. Fear is the thing that shrinks your mind, kills you off. It kills dreams. It is the dream killer. It is the thought destroyer, and it runs through your entire body. Like I told you guys, my body was flooded with adrenaline. I tasted this alkaline taste in my mouth that told me this is it, and I literally got tunnel vision. Started seeing it come down, and I had to start combat breathing, getting my faculties about me again, getting my mind about me, able to think again. And when I could think, I could make the right decisions. I could harness my team, take the right actions, and not just do a spaz attack. And a spaz attack's a joke, but something that would be very, very bad. Okay? And probably have gotten us killed. Because there's action and reaction. All right? Action and reaction. There are way more of them than there were of us. And if all of a sudden every bad guy showed up, because when you start shooting and there are gunfires and explosion, it is like the wake-up call. It's like an alarm clock for all the bad guys to wake up and come get some action, right? And so faith plays a part, a major part, okay? It's not just in combat. I'm just giving you a very vivid and very raw example, okay? Every time you've blown up a deal, every time you sent the crazy email, every time you torched a relationship because you flew off the handle, because you did it several times, okay? This was all made by the fast, ugly decision. Check whether you had any faith. Check where your patience was at. Check where your tactical patience was at. Did you have any faith that anything else was coming, that this would be solved, that this too shall pass? You probably didn't. I'm just telling you that. You probably did not, and that's why you escalated. I've been there. Wasn't paying attention to my own feelings, and I flew off the handle. Like this, I hate to say it, but it was a lot more times than once, okay, in my life. And, you know, I like to say it wasn't recently either, okay, but yeah, all right? Something we have to be mindful of all the time, but especially when you have powerful weapons with you. And guess what a powerful weapon is? Right here, okay, right there. You could communicate a lot of stuff really fast. You could tank your relationship. You could tank your job. You could do lots of stuff. But when you have faith and you have patience, you have a bigger purpose and mission, okay, and you have faith that it's going to work out and there's a plan and that you can get through it, then you're going to have a little more patience. You're going to slow it down a little bit. You're going to take a breath, like I took a breath, to regain my mind, regain my decision making, regain my mental focus and my mental control, okay? You know, I want to say, and before when I was on another mission, you have to have faith that it's going to work out, okay? I'm not going to go into all the details on any other missions right now, but faith that it's all going to work out. You're going to have faith that you can do the right things, faith in your people, faith in your team, faith in your God, faith in your religion, whatever you believe in, faith in yourself, faith in the plan, okay? And I want to say this too. You also need faith when things change, when your identity gets taken away. Like when I finally took the uniform off, okay, I want to talk about faith here. I talked about different times I lost my identity, all right? I lost my identity in football. I rebuilt it as a Marine, as an infantry officer, as a force recon officer, as a Marine Raider officer, okay? After all the rebuilding, after losing my identity in football in college, it was devastating. Then I rebuilt it into something greater than ever throughout my entire career. And then I retired and I got out and I wasn't putting the uniform on anymore, okay? The question that follows somebody out of the gate, what am I now? That's what nagged at me. I know some of you have been there. I know you have. What am I now if I'm not leading Marines, if I'm not doing these death-defying things, if I'm not in this huge, larger-than-life mission that seems like something out of a movie, okay? A massive purpose and mission where people are thanking me for my service, all these things like that. If I'm not leading Marines, I'm not in the fight, I'm not building Marines. What am I supposed to be? Real soul searching went on, everyone. I'll name it to you honestly, too. It was dark times. I had a feeling of worthlessness at one point. Big W, worthlessness. There are lots of veteran stories out there. You've seen them where they go through the same door and you know the terrain. Okay, so you know the terrain, you know what happens. That was me. I went through that. And then I said to myself, what kept me in for so long? What is it that I want to do more than anything else? Why did I stay in the Marine Corps? Yeah, we did some cool stuff. Yeah, the Marines were amazing. I love being with the Marines. But I searched for that new, deep, driving purpose, okay? And then the mission I needed to be on. And then I had faith that I would figure it out, work it out. And here I am, almost 8 years later, full time in this business for going on 8 years now, okay, and doing what I'm doing. And I love the leadership. I love serving others. I love seeing people make breakthroughs to accomplish things as individuals and teams that they didn't think they could do on their own or they hadn't done on their own. Overcoming obstacles to serve in a similar way that I served in the Marine Corps, okay? Lead, teach, motivate, inspire, be an inspirational leader to create positive, lasting change in the lives of others. That's my mission. If you're new here, that's my mission, okay? And all these things, those three things, my purpose, my mission, and my faith, protected my identity. The deeper identity, not that me as the Marine, not me as the football player, but me as Ben Pappas and who I am. Who am I? What do I stand for? I told you guys that. My warrior side of me is I'm Ben Pappas, right? I'm a freaking warrior. I will never quit. I will never surrender. I will keep going until I figure it out. I'm the person who always figures it out. I'm the person that keeps going no matter what. Okay? And with those things, you can never take that from me. Like Viktor Frankl in the Nazi death camp we talked about. There's always somebody who's been through something worse than you. You want to be able to connect your identity to something that they can't take from you. Ben Pappas, the football player, was taken. Ben Pappas, the Marine, is no longer. I'm not putting the uniform on anymore. But the things I learned in the Corps, the things I learned about myself in football, no one can ever take from me. Okay? And now, I aim to be an inspirational leader to create positive, lasting change in people's lives. And also, to create content that inspires people to create positive, lasting change in people's lives. You can't take this from me. These are my identity now, surrounding the core identity of, with faith, wrapped around the whole thing, that I will never quit. I am a warrior. I will never surrender. I will keep going until I figure it out, and I always figure it out. Okay? That's it. That's it. Right there. Those three things protected the identity while the identity was being rebuilt. All right? Then I started my business, layer after layer, courses, study, work, going on 8 years, like I said, the ups and downs, financial hardships, bad months, bad quarters, great months, great quarters, great years. Okay? Then bad months, bad quarters, bad years. Okay? It's ups and downs. It happens until you figure it out. Big wins, big losses. I went through a divorce. Okay? It was something I'd never done before. I like to say that and I like to keep it that way. Very hard, devastating, not easy. It's an understatement, right? It's harder than you think. Okay? Harder than you think. Learned a lot of lessons from all of that. But I had to have faith the whole way that there was a plan for me and that I could contribute to the plan. I actually could write the plan, and that was okay. God had a greater plan. There's a bigger plan, but I'm allowed some agency. I'm allowed some authority to design as well too. Okay? And to try and to work and to influence the outcomes. Lord knows we're not in control of a whole lot, but we can influence the amount of effort we give. We can be in charge of the amount of effort we give, and we are in charge about our attitude about the situation we find ourselves in. Okay? And also the faith that I'm on the right track. Remember, I want you to know that whatever it is, you have to know that it's out there, you can find it, and that it'll be worth it. Have faith for those things, okay? And I want to be careful because I land this right now because some of you are in this exact place tonight. The thing that had brought me back from that feeling of worthlessness to where I am now is not a feeling. I didn't one day waking up feeling better, okay? What brought me back was purpose, mission, and faith. All of those things. Holding the identity together while it got rebuilt, okay? And that rebuild took years, not weeks, okay? But make no mistake, in weeks, I was feeling better. Once you lock onto that purpose and you're excited about it and you got some passion and curiosity and interest and a knowing that the whispers on your heart are strong saying, I think this is it. This is it. And this is going to be good for me. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to learn more. And this is exciting. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at it yet. Like I can do right now. I can talk for 6, 7, 8 hours. I can talk for 3 days to you guys. I've been doing this for for tens of thousands of hours over the past 8 years. And then for a 23-year career before that. Okay? But in those early weeks and months, I got excited. So excited, like freaking Kung Fu Panda. I'm like, oh my God, I can learn this, I can learn this. And look what I can do. I can help people. It's working. Oh my God, it's helping people. This is so amazing. Okay? But for the full rebuild, it took years. Okay? So I want you to plan for the long term, have a long-term patience and vision, and I want you to work furiously in the short term. Work furiously in the short term. Okay? That's how we move the ball down the field right there. All right? So if you're in the hole right now, you're not looking for a feeling. You're not looking for a feeling either. Okay? You're looking for something to hold the shape and to hold the structure, get you structure and shape while the work happens. All right? That's what these forces are for. Let's talk about the bamboo. You guys all know this Chinese bamboo. Let's talk about it, okay? Chinese bamboo. The farmer gets this Chinese forest bamboo, big seeds, plants them. But when he plants them, he needs to water it every day for 4 years. And nothing happens. If he stops watering it for 1 day, all right, many of you have heard this before, but it's for everybody new. And for all of you again too, because guess what? High-performing athletes and business people and high-performing people don't just hear things once. They don't just practice once. They do it many times over and over again. So it sticks and it stays current and fresh. The farmer has to water the Chinese bamboo every day or nothing happens. It dies. And then one day after watering every single day, year 1, nothing happens. Year 2, nothing happens. Year 3, nothing happens. Year 4 comes. There's nothing above ground you can point to. And anyone watching you do this, if you're the farmer, would tell you to stop. They'd say, don't do it anymore. This is nuts. All right? And you'd be hard-pressed to argue with them. You'd think, I feel nuts. What am I doing? I'm wasting time. Okay? And then all of a sudden, in the middle of year 4, it shoots up 90 feet in a matter of a few weeks. And everybody who watched you water the dirt for 4 years calls it overnight success. And they're like, wow, what? And the whole time that seed was developing a big, deep, strong root system. It was growing roots. Okay? This is not a nice thought. This is the description of what was physically happening while you saw nothing. This is the thing that's physically happening and mentally happening, emotionally happening to you when you put in the lonely work. When you're doing the lonely work. When you're out there putting in the effort. You're putting in the reps. You're falling on your face. You're getting back up. You're analyzing. You're improving. You're adapting. You're improvising, adapting, and overcoming and getting better. And the result still doesn't hit. You're doing it over and over and over again for 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 4 years. And then finally, one day, boom, it sticks. You figure it out. It sticks. People are like, holy shit, you did it. You're amazing. Wow. Oh, I can't believe this. And they all think it was an overnight success because you did the lonely work. You did the hard work in the dark. You had the reps in the dark when no one knew about it. Okay? And when no one was watching. And you kept going. And you kept going. That's the stories of Chinese bamboo. I want you to be like Chinese bamboo. That's what I want for you. Okay? So when you're sick to your stomach because there's no money yet out there coming for you from what you're doing, and there's no recognition, there are no new followers, no new subscribers, okay? No promotion. The boss doesn't even know who you are. When the anxiety is up because you've been at this for 2 years and you've got this and you've got skills and flashes of progress, but no harvest has come yet. You're not failing. You are rooting. You're developing the roots. Remember that. And the one thing that gets you across that particular wall is energy, mindset, and faith, held together by an identity that is wrapped up and strengthened by a deep driving purpose and mission, and an environment that supports all of it. Okay? All of it. All right, guys? So tonight, we talked about energy, capacity, not mood. Okay? That's what energy is. Built years before the day you needed it. And when it goes, Your energy's gone. The first thing that's going to go is your judgment. And your judgment is not just for big things, it's for little things. I'm going to eat this bad thing instead of the good thing. I'm going to not go to the gym instead of go to the gym. Okay, I'm not going to do that little bit of work on this dream thing I'm trying to work on because I'm too tired. I'm going to schedule fun and comfort over the work I know that'll lead to me building what I want to build. Judgment's gone because you're tired. So energy number one. Environment, we talked about. The room you choose, okay, where you have to run to keep up. You want to be in the room of people that are teaching you, exciting you, inspiring you. Not where you're always top dog, you have all the answers, they're all looking up to you. This is good for your ego, you feel good about it, but it's not good for your capabilities. It's not good for your future. Remember, you become who you hang around. So are you trying to lower down to the people who are below you? Or are you trying to rise up to become better? Which one are you trying to be? You got to ask yourself this. The only tool that works, okay? Environment works on not knowing how. This is the only one. If you don't know how to do something, you don't have a skill or ability yet, you want to learn it by getting in proximity of other amazing, uplifting, rising leaders who have skills you don't have, and you all get in there together in a mastermind and you figure it out together, okay? Surround yourself with the right people. Next, we talked about purpose and mission. The only engine strong enough to override self-preservation and fear is the only thing that makes unrewarded work sustainable. I'm going to say it again. Purpose and mission, deep driving purpose, powerful purpose, greater than just yourself. And a mission that you can feel and that drives you and inspires you. It's big enough for you to make you excited and pumped up, okay? It is the only thing that will override self-preservation. It is the only thing that will let you keep going and sustain hardcore work, okay? Because you can see it, taste it, feel it, this purpose, deep driving purpose and this mission. Purpose and mission will let you keep going. Some people call it passion. Some people call it obsession, okay? You become obsessed and so passionate, you keep going because you love it. You've heard that, fall in love with the process. This is what it's all about right here. Because you do it anyway for free. And next thing you know, you get really damn good at it. You get so good that people want to start paying you for it, okay? And this is the only thing that will let you sustain unrewarded work, okay? And last, we're going to talk about faith. We talked about faith. What you run on. This is what you run on when the evidence has not arrived yet, okay? It's what makes restraint possible. And it's what holds the identity in place, okay? What holds your identity actually even together after it's been ripped apart, shattered, stripped down to its core. And as you're rebuilding it, you wrap it in the faith. And then you wrap it in purpose and mission. You wrap it in faith again. And it grows and it heals and it strengthens underneath all of it, okay? And I want to say to you guys, if tonight you can't find any of it, and if it is all still dark for you, and you don't know one single thing right now, you don't know anything, here's your order. Do this. Let it go. Let it go. Stop. Just have faith, okay? Go get some PT, drink water, face outboard, take a knee, hold security, and protect your sleep. Your sleep is your first step to energy. Your sleep is your first step to energy, which will then give you better judgment. You'll make better decisions. And through better decisions, you will start to have more faith. You will design purpose. You'll design mission. You'll be able to direct your mental focus. You'll be able to step through fear more and more each time you do it. You will rebuild a powerful identity that says, I'm someone who can. I'm someone who doesn't quit. I'm someone that can figure it out. And I have faith in myself. Self-belief will come. You do the things first, evidence arrives, and then confidence comes. And with confidence, many things can happen, my friends. Many things. You'll have the courage to step into the right room, get in the right environment. You'll be able to take criticism to grow, coaching to grow, okay? And then it becomes a virtuous cycle. You get more and more energy, and more of it grows. More happens, more happens. Next thing you know, you're freaking Chinese bamboo, you shoot up 90 feet, and you are freaking crushing. You are crushing. And that's the way it is. Point, period, paragraph. Trust me, it's how it is. Okay? Taking a break right now, though, if you're there, like I said, Protect your sleep. Get some water. Relax. Stop. Have faith. Watch this again tomorrow. Watch last week's too. Give yourself a break today and do the absolute best you can today so that tomorrow you can do even better. Okay? That's not quitting. That is not quitting. That's called tactical patience, right? That is a commander protecting the force. The force is ready for tomorrow. And you, my friend, you are the force. Okay? All right. Everything we did tonight is the work. This is the work. The Ferocious Optimist membership is where you do this work every month. The Inner Circle is where you do it weekly with me live every Thursday in a private Zoom call. Okay? And it includes the Ferocious Optimist memberships. That gives you weekly group coaching every week, plus direct messaging, DMs to me. You talk to me about the problems every week. We're going to DM and catch up all week as well. I'll keep coaching you through the week as you need it. There's nothing to apply for. Click the link in the chat right now or the link in the description if you're watching the replay. The link is pinned. Check it out. Click on it. Join today. I'll see you on Thursday in the Inner Circle. Okay? And remember, like I always say, guys, okay, make yourselves better. Make the world better. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your week. This has been Mindset Mondays. We do it every Monday. It is absolutely awesome time. We got the best chat in YouTube. And I will see you guys all for Warrior Wednesdays. And then, of course, for our amazing Friday show, the War Room Recall. And remember, like I always say, go get yours. Let's go. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. It's been a fun, fun time.